Jah Oil ñoom ñoo jiitu si wàllum jaay essence si biir réew mi te ñu def ko warugal pour kontaan loo suñu client yi borom moto yi ak driver yi seen jaaxare jeex na léegi pour am essence bu baax ak njëg bu yomba lii sax moo tax ñu amal leen banxaas fépp si biir réew mi pour essence bu baax bu set benn place rek la muy Jah Oil soo soxlae essence bu set essence bu baax gasoil wala kérosine naa la wax ne Jah Oil rek mooy jëmukaay ga doxantul rek si bépp banxaasi Jah Oil nga am si bànneex ak Jah Oil seen bànneex mooy suñ taxawaay moo tax ñu amoon leen banxaas bépp si biir réew mi nim gën a yombee pour yow ak suñ liggéeykat yu xarañ yi naa la won ne mbégte rek nga see jël pour am essence bu baax pour say machine fenn place rek la mooy sa Jah Oil ak Jah Oil bànneex kese la moo tax sax suñ station si nekk ca Costa Road ak Banjul wàññil nañ leen njëgi essence bi foofu noonu pour am si lu leer mun ngaa call si 770 8080 322 9070 714 7273 wala 787 1321 Jah Oil, the pride of the nation.
Bank, because we take pride in satisfying every customer's financial needs.
Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments, deposit at a bank, and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Hello and welcome back to our show. It's another Thursday and we're back here in the studio. And today I have Momodou Hydara. He's the general manager of Jar Oil. Of course, you know why we'll be having Jar Oil in the studio. But later on in the show, I'll be joined by Essa Njie, a political science lecturer, and we'll be looking at the political arena. Obviously, Hydara cannot be here for that. He's a businessman. Mr. Hydara, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Fatou. I'm really happy to be here. And as usual, you are always concerned about public opinion and also what will benefit the Gambia and what is affecting lives. So for that being the case, inviting me here is not a surprise because it's something you do as a living to make sure that, you know, people are well covered. So I'm really grateful to be here. And I thank all the listeners out there for giving us the time to listen and to watch us. Thank you very much for that.
You know, the last time I came to the factory, I walked in myself because we were concerned about what was happening and we had made so many pronouncements here on the show. And I've said this to you and Mr. Jah himself. I think I was one of your biggest critics. But I made sure I came to the factory to look at the work you guys are doing. And I was very, very impressed with the work you are doing. And I had the rare opportunity of speaking to Hamidou himself and you in an interview. When we spoke, you promised me that cement shortage will be a thing of the past. Why are we still in that situation few months down the line?
Thank you very much. It's a very good and valid question. And I'll be more than happy to shed light on the issues people don't understand. What they see on the surface and what is beneath the surface is greater. You came the last time, that was because when the market was disrupted and then we had that break that caused that shock. But it is never like this, even though the prices have not changed since that time. You came the last time, we always sell at $390 at our factory gates. And then people were also buying it at that time, at that price, but they were able to maintain a very, you know, reasonable price that consumers can afford. But what makes this one different is we've made our investigations, we've also looked into it. We realized that this price hike is not ordinary, honestly. And I will tell you a few reasons why it is not ordinary.
But before we go to the price hike, why the shortage? Why are we not able to supply the market?
Let me
promise was Jar Oil
we will be able to
do supply.
And still now we have demonstrated that. Because from that time we were coming, we were only operating, before that time and during that time, we were only operating with one factory. 100,000 bags a day, and it was enough. When it is in normal operations, it's enough to meet the country's demand. And this is why we have not had these kind of things on a daily basis, but only on instances like what we are facing. This one, what makes it different is, I will tell you, and people should listen to understand. What is happening is painful, but it is also to the best interest of the public.
To the best interest?
I'll come down why.
Why?
What causes the shortage is, as we are moving, before we were bringing 30,000 vessels. For example, you hire a very big vessel of 60,000 metric tons capacity. You only put 30,000 in it and bring it. So this is what we were doing. But as time goes on, the dollar rate and the prices were going up. We are forced to take two choices, to make two choices. One, to continue bringing those kind of quantities and then up the price. Maybe the factory gate prices would have been, under normal circumstances, $420 wholesale. And can you imagine, or $430? Can you imagine if, with the current situation, if they were to buy it at that price, we'll give them the justification that we should sell it at $550. Or we still maintain the $390 so that we can serve the consumers with affordable cement. Because Gambia today, and I always tell people this, to Google and research, and call me a liar if they find otherwise, that Gambia today, on the jar, with our jar cement prices, is the most affordable cement today in West Africa.
In West Africa?
In West Africa, including Nigeria, who has a factory producing cement.
Senegal just reduced their prices.
Yes, but I'm telling you, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Senegal, the retail prices of the 32.5, not the 42, because these are different prices.
The prices,
they are different brackets in the cement world.
Okay.
When you look at their retail price in their market, it's a cement producing nation, but they're selling at 500. If you travel to Senegal, pop in a shop and ask them and do your conversion. Number one. That's there. And then you go to Nigeria, it's 10,000 naira a bag, 32.5. It's about $500. You go to Guinea-Bissau, it's worst. Guinea is even higher. You understand? So Gambia, we are selling a high quality, not the 32 they are selling at 5. We are selling that the 42.5, we are maintaining it at $390. Under normal circumstances, if you don't have greedy traders, they should have been able to retail that. At least, we are retailing it in our station at $415. So if they cannot do $415, at least they should do $420, $425. And they will still be profitable. But they decided to hype it up to $550. Sometimes $600.
But that is because of the shortage. So,
No.
okay.
That's where I disagree.
Okay, let's look at the shortage first.
Okay.
You're explaining how
Yes.
has to do
How
with
we
the
got
vessel,
to that.
how we got there.
Yeah. So we would have been selling cement if we had stick to the old plan of bringing small quantities in big vessels. The landing cost will be higher.
Okay.
And if the landing cost is higher, consumers have to take the cost.
The cost.
And then they would have bought the cement at $420 or $430 per bag at our factory. So we said, that is not a good thing to do. Because the country today, when you look at it, there's a massive infrastructural development, both at public sectors and private levels. And then everybody is trying to build. It is a good thing. It's a good sign that people are stepping up to develop their life. So when we look at that, we said, you come all of a sudden and then say, now, no, you have to buy these. And then they go to those retailers, they tell them a different price. We said, what do we do to make sure that we don't do that? Then we went to the drawing board again, trying to calculate where we can make savings so that we can plow it back to the people. Then we said the only option available is to play with the economies of scale. Then what that means is those same vessels that are 50,000, 60,000 capacity, we fill them to max. Full capacity, and then you will make a savings, and then you will plow that savings back to the people and maintain that 390 prices. This is what we did. But before we did that, we know that the port of Banjul, even though we followed them several times for them to do dredging, because if you see certain commodities and container landing in the country is been expensive compared to Dakar, one of the factors is that
The dredging.
the dredging issue. Gambia is losing out a lot because smaller vessels have to come here, and then you load a bigger vessel, just like what we are doing, and put few containers so that they can enter with a draft. And that's the added cost. And who is paying the cost? The container owners, who will pass it to the consumers. So this has been a bottleneck. So we told them that, okay, since you are not able to dredge after several appeals, as a business, we said still now we can do the scenario I told you, to bring bigger vessels full capacity and then make a savings and plow it to the consumers. But to be able to do that, we have to do an extra investment. And that extra investment led us to buy a vessel of our own. That is MV Christian of a 4,500 metric tons capacity. We bought it in Germany. It cost us about $1 million. We brought it. So that vessel, when we bring these high capacity vessels, will be lightening that mother vessel by picking in 4,000 tons and make 1, 2, 3, or 4 trips until that one is lightened enough, and then it can sail to dock. So we did that investment, but you see that lightering cost even. A normal business person will say, okay, I'm doing an extra cost, extra investment, I'm going to add it on the cement. We didn't do that. You didn't hear any price increase on our side. All for the interest of the population. Then we did that, and it was going well. Since the last time you came, that's what we've been doing. Then we solved the problem, and cement was available everywhere, and we were able to maintain a sane price in the market. That's what we were doing. But one thing we also didn't expect is the force of nature can catch up with us. At this time of the year, November, December, going up to January, this is what we call in our area here the Hamatan season.
Yes.
You can see it's very windy now.
It's windy these days, yeah.
So this we didn't factor because we have never experienced this at this time of the year. We've experienced it on the other times of the year, but not at this time. So then these vessels came, and then they met this time in November. November becomes one of those difficult times at sea. So when this small vessel travels to go to the high sea, to lighten this vessel, just like how we've been doing it, it was successfully going very well. This time around, they will catch up with bad weather. There'll be high winds and heavy swells. The sea waves are high. In that situation, you cannot do ship-to-ship transfer, whereby this daughter vessel will go alongside the mother vessel, and then you take from here and putting it into the daughter vessel until it is filled. When these waves are not steady and the wind is high, it becomes very risky. You have to suspend operations and allow Mother Nature to settle down. Then you capitalize on that window and do fast what you can do before the weather will change again. You stop again. It's a very frustrating and difficult situation we found in ourselves. So this is what we've been doing during this whole noise, all for the interest of the Gambia. You know, a normal business, when the noise is too high for you, you will say that, okay, why are we taking all this trouble, all this stress, all this heat from every corner just to save certain dollar amount for the consumers? But it seems they are not seeing it or it's not appreciated. Why don't we do a full Passover? Then we would have legitimately be able to defend that this is what cement will be sold. And it will be high.
It will be difficult to defend that because what the Gambian people are also experiencing is government giving monopoly to only local, how do you call it? You guys, local industries, because the policy is to empower local businesses. And I have said this here on my show myself. I say, I am all in for supporting local businesses because I want my business to be supported and I want other businesses to be supported too. But again, I said, did we put the cart before the horse? Before government comes up with a strategy like this, you didn't think they should have done that dredging? They should have known that JA and other Salam and others would need a bigger capacity port. The dredging should have been done. All the requirements that the port needs. Because the last time I had an interview with you guys, Mr. JA had told me they had even wanted to have their own shipping. How do you call it?
A little port.
A little port section where they could be doing all of these things and still be paying everything that they need to be paying. But what they want is to be able to have access to do a quick service. But the government did not give approval for that. Now, also, the dredging that the port is supposed to do and make sure if they're not giving you that license, but at least to make sure all the facilities is available, that is not there. Now, my problem is, and I've said this to people, my problem is the policy. If you want to do a policy like this, which we all support, we want government businesses to grow, but first, make the environment available for the business people. Because at this point, everybody, me and everybody blames JA because the cement is high and it's not available. But the truth of the matter is, it is the policy. It is government who said this is what is going to happen, but they did not create the environment. What do you make of that?
You see, for argument's sake, you can say this.
Yeah.
You understand? But to be realistic, I think the measure the government did was not to monopolize the sector. It's to encourage Gambians to go into the sector and invest, just like what we've done.
I'm not questioning the measure. I'm not questioning it. I'm questioning the availability of all the resources necessary to implement the measure.
I'm coming there. The measures, arguably, we can say, if we had stuck to the old plan of bringing high landing cost barges or vessels, you would not have been sitting here discussing cement. Cement will be seamlessly available, but it at a cost.
At a higher cost.
Avoiding that cost
is what led to
this. That's what led us to this. Because we are always calculating the interests of Gambians. And this is why sometimes we don't think like a typical businessman. A typical businessman looks at what interests him and him alone. And then whatever cost is associated that, you plow it to the people. Let them figure it out. But for us, when we have a cost-related decision to make, we always ask ourselves, is this affordable? How are people going to react to this? How is it going to affect them? And it becomes very difficult for us to say, don't worry, just give it to them. So this is why, despite the measure was there, and we could have done, like I told you, the old system, we said, let's invest in a vessel to help us with the lightering. It was moving well.
It was doing well.
The lightering was doing well before the weather changes. Because we brought a lot of vessels doing the same STS. It was okay. But the only thing is, this time of the year
The
was
weather.
never factored that it is a windy season and sea swells are usually higher. So STS is practically, I will not say impossible, but it will be very, very challenging. But we are maneuvering through those challenging situations. We didn't stop there again. We had one vessel. We bought a second vessel that is on its way. It's already purchased. It's even handed over already. We've done the handing over. They are now just doing the sailing documents so that it can sail from where we bought it to come to the Gambia. To assist these other vessels, whereby the operation will even be faster.
Faster.
Because if we are using one to do this, now we have two that we own. They stay in the Gambia, born in this Gambia, and then they will do the STS much efficiently and faster. Then people will also not complain. So we are doing all this extra investment, not only to support the business, because we could have said that, look, we are a cement-related investor, we sell. We shouldn't get ourselves into logistics and maritime, like purchasing vessels. Let us just focus on the product and just bring it. Whatever the market price is on the bag, we give it to the people. If people challenge you, we bring our records, put it in the public to do the calculations for themselves, and they will say, well, it's genuine. But that will drive us to be like these countries I've mentioned, whereby cement is very expensive there. Gambia is a young, distant, people are just trying to come out of a system where people were not able to invest in infrastructure for obvious reasons. Now people are saying we could go into investment. Diasporans are now pouring money to build, very, very big buildings in the country. Before, it was, people were still doing it, but so many people were afraid to do it because they were not sure what will happen. So, but now we are in that situation. We also said, how do we contribute towards it? Let's make the product we sell, which is the major one, that is cement, make it affordable to the people. And now if you're doing all these sacrifices, we bought all these vessels, all together when you put this vessel investment, you put them together, it's nothing, very close to $5 million in total, with everything involved in it. Extra. Different from, also, we invested it in 2 brand new factories. One in Farafenni, which is currently operating. And then one in Buffalo Road to add up to our existing one, with a 200,000 a day, 200,000 bags a day capacity. So it means Buffalo, when that other factory is ready, maybe before the end of the month or early January, we'll commission it. Buffalo will be a 300,000 bags capacity a day. And Farafenni will be 100,000 bag capacity a day.
What is the normal capacity right now we have?
The normal capacity is 100,000 bags a day. Okay. Which is enough for the Gambia. People still argue that is Jawel alone. The other players, small there, but they are also adding to that.
And my question is, why do we always say when cement is missing, it's jar oil?
Because
we don't. Sometimes we forget there are other players, and I think it's important it's important we put out in the. Let's put it out there. It's not just jar oil.
Exactly.
It's jar, salam, and bamboo.
This is why.
But whenever there's cement shortage, it's because you are the bigger player.
Yeah, we are the bigger player, which we appreciate. And we will continue to be this until when things change. I don't know when that will be, but we've done massive investment to make sure that we upgrade our capacity from 100,000 bags a day to now 400,000 bags a day. Jar oil alone, Gambia cannot possibly consume that.
But when the problem is, when is that going to happen? Because as we speak, people are struggling.
I know.
Yeah. When can we reliably tell Gambians that by this time this year we will be able to produce at least 400,000 bags a day?
Right now we are at 150 as we speak today.
Okay.
From 100 we are 150 because Farafenni we are at 50% capacity. Instead of once we accelerate it to the 100%, because that's how you do. You have to go bit by bit until you reach your full throttle.
Okay.
By the time we accelerate it to full throttle, to become one full 100,000 bags, it will be 200,000. The second 200,000 bags in Buffalo is also very soon, it will be commissioned. We are pushing very hard these days to make sure that we commission that one also by maybe end of December or early part of January or second week of January. So adding all these, we have now invested further to make sure that we have 400,000 capacity production, jar oil alone. Salam's production didn't add up to that. Gassem's production didn't adopt to that. So you see, government's measure, they didn't just pass this measure and then say, fold your hand and enjoy. No. In fact, we have not been enjoying. Everything we have made, we've plowed it back into the sector again by vamping up investment. I cannot speak for the others. I know Gassem is also expanding its production capacity. They are currently working. Salam also, I think very soon I heard that they are also about to commission something. So you will see that all the sectors are investing. We have invested until we invested in rural Gambia. In Paravenye.
But to me, the customer,
yeah,
I don't see that. You know what the customer sees? There's no cement. I want cement. For example,
I will
me,
address that.
you know how many people called me? You know, I remember Lamin Cham started newspaper called me and go, after 25 guys, Cham, do you know I was struggling to get cement myself. I bought cement, a bag of cement for 600.
Very
jar
sad.
oil cement.
Very sad.
I could not believe it.
Very sad.
You know, for me, I don't like going behind. I didn't call you.
Yeah.
I didn't call Hamidou. I struggled like every other person. I wanted to understand what was happening in the market. I bought a bag of cement for $600. That's different from the transportation.
From retailers, yes. Yes.
But it's a jar oil cement.
Yeah, it's our cement. But can you imagine if we have to wear our helmets and go from shop to how much are you selling? I'm selling at 500. No, you have to reduce it. It's our cement. We have that legal rights to do.
But what's the point of having your sale point? Jar oil has sales points.
This is
where I remember the last time we had a conversation, you guys had sale point. Even when things were tough, you were like, let's fill our depots first, because people were adding prices to the cement price. So, you know, to reduce that, you were supplying your stores first. Even that had challenges, because before it gets there, there were people who are also doing their daily jobs.
I have those stories, and we are still attentively focusing on that. And I wish we are able to catch somebody red-handed. It will be a done deal for that person.
Even your people are doing that. But my thing is, you guys have sales point. Before supplying other people, wouldn't you think it would have been nicer to supply your sales point and make sure you are selling at a certain price, that everybody who goes there, even if we have to queue, will buy it at least at an affordable price?
No, that is something now. This situation have taught us in the hard way that we should have prioritized our stations. The reason why we are doing it, we did it in good faith. We are saying that there is a high demand for it. Traders whose livelihood depend on the retail business of cement, you know, are complaining. So let's prioritize them. Honestly, we did it on that note. Let's prioritize them. Our stations, let them be secondary. So we are pumping all the volumes to them. But not knowing that these people have cynically connived to say that, you know, since we are the one controlling the retail market, jar oil hardly gets, they no longer prioritize their stations. Let's fix the price to whatever it is today. And this is where we made a tactical error. And we have learned in the hardest way that these are not people you can trust. Some of them, where even if I tell you today, Fatou, some of those very traders who are big in the market, we give some of them priorities just to make sure that they get the cement from us quickly and take it to the consumers. Just to turn behind us and selling it at $600. We discovered all this during this crisis, that on the whole, we, in a way, we are shooting ourselves on the leg. We thought we were doing a very good thing by supporting businesses also who relies on this retail business. But look at how they twisted it and turn it against us. And then when you ask those very retailers, why are you selling it at this? They will say, yeah, because, you know, jar oil is the only one now with the cement. We don't bring cement anymore across the border. So this is why, you know, it is very expensive.
Are they vindicated? Are they vindicated at a point that government increase their price at the border? Yeah. And they said jar oil will nañ dem rek jar oil du mëna def supply bi nañ dem rek jar oil duñ ko mëna def légui jar oil mënta keep up the market supply bi légui ñom now they are needed again. It looks like they are needed again.
But now look at it.
They are needed.
But look at that scenario.
Even though betay storage bi dafa bari betay sa market bi mënuta stabilize.
Look at that scenario. Xam nga ñom loolu lañ fogon né government su démé bé sometime, ñoom rek a mën a stabilize market bi. And government played into that narrative at the end and thought that, yes, maybe it's true, we should give them, we should do a partial restriction and open the borders for them. Now, guess what happened?
What happened?
When government called us in a meeting to discuss that possibility. I said, you are government, you can do it if you wish. But I can tell you this and mark my word for it today. This is how I put it. That will not solve the problem. In fact, it's going to make it worse. As much as your reason, I told them, how can you imagine these same people were buying cement at $390 from our factory and decided to sell it at $600. The same people, you open the border for them, they will bring the cement. It will cost them $420 to bring into Farafenni, not Banjul.
To Farafenni,
not Banjul. Now they will add the cost of Banjul on it and come higher at 440 maybe. How do you expect that person to sell that lesser than what they are selling in the shop?
So let's clear that.
It didn't happen. So now I have receipts. I can show you. I bought those cement myself, 32.5 R, not the 42. People selling it at between $500 to $600.
Let's clarify that. You guys sell that the 42.5 to them for $390. When they bring it from Senegal up to Farafenni, how much do they?
It cost them about $420.
It cost them $420. So that means they can only sell it above $425 or $430.
Yeah, which they will not do because they've tested the sweet money of $100 in margin on a bag of cement, or $200 in margin in some cases. Like what they are doing right now, you bought cement at $600, right?
Yes, I did.
So what took it to $600? Made the different, separate the $390 from the $600.
Because it's scarce.
This two is you will get about $200 plus.
Some will tell you it's scarce because they're spending 2 days, 3 days to Purang Adja or Puramko.
Look, that is just an excuse they're giving. Let me give you a scenario. We are transporters too. Remember that.
Yeah.
We know how the transport market works here. When you go to Picton, vehicles don't load there every day. They are in queue for days. But you take a bag of rice from Picton, 50 kilo bags, you take it to Basse for $50, even though you've been queuing there for 2 weeks. Another scenario, you take a bag of cement, take to Jarasoma. The tariff they charge, $30. But how can you explain you take a bag of cement from Jar Oil, you go to Coastal Road, $35. To Farado next door, $25. How can you explain that, Farado? Is there any justification? Is there any logic behind that? That's number one. Then let's assume most of them have their own transport, these big dealers.
Yeah.
Usually, under normal circumstances, a bag of cement to Coastal Road, as a transporter, we are transporters, I told you, $10 per bag will transport that cement to your shop, and your car, as a truck owner, you will have a good margin to put in your pocket. The truck will be full from that. There's no losses. That's what we used to transport, and we're still transporting our cement for that $10. And drivers are still making margins out of that. They own their own truck on top of that. How can you say that now? The cost to your shop as a truck owner, let's say $10. You add it on the $390.
I pay $30 for a bag.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
You add it on your $390 from the factory as a truck owner. $10 is enough with a profit on the transport.
Per bag.
Per bag. That's the rate.
Okay.
Now you take it to Coastal Road, it becomes $400. What is the justification in selling $625? $200 is margin, even bag of rice.
Because amudi.
No do lolu.
Cement mo amut.
Hangal fofu ngeen day gis. Kama la gis nga ñu ngi wax cement amut.
Wow.
Waaye bés boo ñëwee faaraato even defen suñu baaflooto ëllëg.
Yeah.
Even ëllëg. Balaa nga àgga ci factory bi nga taseeg ay stocks of cement.
Yeah.
Didn't you ask yourself, ñu ne amut, but ñu ngi gis cement ci dëkk bi de. It is not like dafa manqué completely.
So what was the scenario? They can produce 100,000 a day.
Wow.
During this problem, ngeen am ci CB, what was ñaata ngeen daan produce in a day?
Ba léegi gis nga su gaal bi dellu si tey ñu ngi expect ne ñu ngi dellu si tey.
Yeah.
We can still do 100,000 bags.
100,000.
Waaye da ngaa gis ne su jeexee rek. mu ngi delluwaat am nañ a break. 2-3 days break. Waaye even 2-3 days break boobu noonu ñu ngi ko supplement. yaa ngi dégg so foofu lañ dee ooyee shortage moo am. waaye doo musa gis ne market bii nga dem ci market bi nga gis ne benn saaku ciment ne man dama dee romba bitig yoo xam ñu ngi jaay cement I see cement in them selling it. Problem bi mooy price bi lañ fix to an affordable level. Why put it over completely market? We keep supplying the market until when the motor vessel be di ñëw ñu ngi high man na motor vessel bi no costé by Monday ci weekend bi be Monday su fekkee ne weather bi permit nañu gis nga su boobu ñëwee naa bëgg nga yónni sa boy si rek ñu dem rek ñu taxaw ci yooni Fatou bi rek di look at the traffic of trucks loaded with cement.
So when su motor vessel bi ñëwee ba ngeen indi si dépôt bi da ngeen dee mën a produce seen normal 100,000
24 hours
waaye boobu su jeexee
non loolu xam nga ban boppa la ñu jox
waaw
gis nga xam nga boobu mu ngee wàccee dina ko jël xëj na 7 to 10 days mu jeexal ñu ngee lightin beneen bi at the same time bi ngeen wàccee ñu ngee lightin bële by the time bii di jeex dafaa fekk bële tam oyof na dafaa ñëw rek bii dafaa jéem mu ñëw tafu so noonu lañ daan def in the past moo tax kenn du daan dégg shortage bi ci lightering operation bi te loolu lañ bëgg a defaat force vessel bi na dugga rek boobu moo gën a important why is it discharging ñu ngee lightin beneen
bi
bii suy jeex dafa fekk boobu tam pare na dafa costé boobu daal suy costé ñu ngi lightin beneen noonu lañ ko daan defee semaine manqué wul waaye bii yoon weera bi moo ñu ne doo leen ñëw fii di dictate ñun tamit naka la ñuy opérater that is nature so moo tax ñu am these delays yi nii waaye semaine muñ ci market bi but they deliberately choose and colluded ne nañ fix retail bi at 550 def 600 ñoomi neen la government knows this te waxoon naa leen ko te gisal nañ ko seen booba mayeen ne soo leen ubbee border bi sax they will still sell it ñii mos nañ xaalis riba ba pare te duñ ko dafa neex soo koy lekka duñ ko teel a mun a bàyyi pour nga delloo leen waag wa $10 $15 margin per bag they will not do it xeeb nañ ko léegi 100-200 bags $1 margin lañ bugga ci si
gis na because right now just before ma dugga si show bi nii gis naa Watson Gambia ñu ngi post ne ñu dee indi cement from Senegal dañ leen promise on ne ñoom dinañ ko jaay at a certain price I think 400 let me just
brainwash
you know dinañ ko sell at a certain price but seen cement bi now is going above that price so what could be the reason for something like that
collusion la because gis nga ñii gis nga nuñ ubbee bunta bi nii
waaw
if I told they were very serious about nekkuñ di ko politicize they were very serious about opening the border ni ko doon bàyyi now you will see hundreds of vehicles streaming bàyyi comme nuñ daan def Brikama in those days foo taxaw nga gis moto Sénégal moom fa taxaw with full of truck waaye nga defuñ ko this time dofuñ ne businessmen lañ xam naa suma mbokki businessmen yi dofuñ xam nañ ne the margin is no longer there is no lucrative business is no longer lucrative it's better they stick with us and continue killing the people rather than go and spend all that money just to come and then be able to sell it at 440 with a $10 margin.
So what they're saying, what they're saying is really interesting. It looks like, but even though ñu ngi dugal si price is still at 600, but they had promised that they were going to sell it at 445 in Combo and 470 in the provinces. Which would have been even cheaper than what was happening, right? Because the cement was at four something. But as we speak, they're still selling it at 600.
You know why they cannot do that?
Why?
Xam nga nit ki yàlla daf ñu saka doomi aadama pour ñu mun a xelaat through things.
Okay.
They cannot do it. Yow let's assume yow yaa dem Sénégal indi ko. Yow xam nga supply nga nekk naturally. Because nit ñi ñoo jënd ci yow. Pour yóbbu ko seen bitig yi. Nga dugalee ko 440. Ok?
440.
Man Hydara ma jëndee ko solo 440.
Wow.
Ma yóbbu ko suma bitig.
For more taxes, more cost.
Ñaata laa ko jaayee 500
at least 500, minimum 500.
So moo tax man ma waxoon government at that time ne people are getting everything wrong. Ñii they cannot do what they used to do because cheap moo nekkoon foofu free money scenario moo fa nekkoon. $30 bu ñu daan fay ci border bi duñ ko daan fay. Now they are paying $36 because $30 bi plus $6 processing nga xam ne ñun yëpp ñu ngi ko fay. ñun yëpp as producers dañ leen fay loolu. Boobu VAT bi la. yaa ngi dégg soo suñ tegee loolu with the high cost landing cost bu ñu ko dee indee ci border bi nga teg si $30 nga war see teg profit nga dunda si parce que sa moto bi tamit foog nga sóoraale ko because machine la dina yaaxu sa loxo benn bés. nga sóoraale si loolu teg ko si doo ko mun a jaay. And I told them this. It will not get better, it will get worse. It's better ngeen bàyyee ko nii nga xam ne Gambians yi duñ leen defraud di leen di jaay 32.5 hours cement at 500 they are better off at least.
With a 42
bi ñu dee ko 500 sax mu tane.
500 is still on the high
It's still
side.
on the high side. But I'm
Yeah.
so compare the two devils. Be more a lesser devil. Because at least you were buying this one 500, that one 500. But if I'm like, I'm going to fee C class, I'm fee a Range Rover.
My thing is,
Understand?
yeah, understand.
That's the scenario.
Yeah.
At least people are better off with that. But don't get me wrong. We are doing everything possible and we'll do everything within our power. So more of it will be costed. We are not going to let these people dictate the market anymore.
Because at this point,
Swing retail points you prioritize.
okay.
Let their shops run dry. We don't care. But we'll tell Gambians, you want affordable cement, go to our retail points.
So yen ko jay, because what we know is from your press conference, at yen sen depot price we change with bete.
Change.
390.
No, 390 ci factory bi, 415.
415
ci
si depot bi.
Wow.
3 si factory bi 390.
90 waaw.
415
Waaw, ci retail points yi 415.
415.
Waaw, 15.
15.
15.
Wow.
ñun loolu lañ dee retailer. Loolu lañ dee retailer.
And that will not change.
That will not change.
So now when can we say because the point is now even with government measures being put in place, ñu ngi jëndee cement ba tey 600.
Wow.
Up to today.
Unfortunately.
Now government measures yuñ defoon ñu ne nañ stoppoon ñu wàññi from 180 bi ñu dellu back to 30.
Wow.
That you're taking from the Gambian people, taxpayers.
Exactly.
Xaalis, for example,
Exactly.
right? For example, now the objective was pour mu wàññeeku.
Exactly.
And ba tey wàññeeku.
Du wàññeeku.
Now
On their part,
Yeah.
they cannot reduce it.
Why?
I can bet on that.
You think it will not go below 600?
They will, no, for them,
Yes.
for to do better than our price,
Yeah.
they can't. That I can guarantee you.
Because so gisee ma laaj loolu, I remember Hamidou waxoon na ma si show bi mu ne ma, it is affordable for retailers to buy from us because ñun 390 lañ leen ko dee jaayee si factory bi, ñun suñ leen ko jaayee 390 ñoom ñu teg si seen cost mun neen koo jaay at least 450.
450 moo war a nekk cap of bi.
450 mu ne ma waruta lomba loolu.
Lower but not more than.
More than that.
Wow.
So dinañ am a margin of almost close to $100.
Exactly.
You know, 100 and something. So moom loolu la ma waxoon. At that point my thing was ndax yéen am ngeen capacity pour jox leen loolu. Those months defoon ngeen ko. But now it was stuck. You said it was because of the weather conditions. But now the thing with that is this. If it's cheaper for them to have it at Jar Oil, why are they having issues with that? Because number one, 42.5 la, compared to Senegal 32.5. Number two, it's cheaper. As a business person, I would prefer to get it from Jar. Lutanga Fogne, people are bent on going to Senegal because same business interest more, you have more profit.
Exactly.
More profit.
But
Senegal.
They are no longer interested. The business, that cross-border business, is no longer lucrative to them.
Okay.
Because lu ñu am ci ñun, duñ ko fa mëna amati. Wala suñ bëggé am lu ñu am ci ñun, price bi du musa jëna 600. They will still have to maintain it there pour ñu mëna match. But ñun luñ ko amé ci ñun su leen neexee ñu ragal yàlla mun nañ ko def maximum 450 retail and below. Parce que ñun suñ station suñ station managers yi.
Yeah.
ñoo def retail business bi and it goes to their pocket. Send side business la. Jawel has no margin on those retails. Dañ leen ko créer. They pay transport like how they pay transport. Dañu fay leverage comme ñuy fay leverage. Ba pare dañ ci am margin dugal ko seen poche. Te ñu ko mëna jaay 415. Now ñoom mi am seen own moto nga xam ne ñoo ko moom, they should even do better than us. But still you decide pour jaay ko 500 up to 600. It's so lucrative to them. Then commerce is like a drug. They are addicted to it now. Government rek mo mëna ñoo mu kiyo leen out of that junkism. Jëne leen ci that drunken behavior. Because
or maybe Javi, or maybe Ja Oil.
Ñun léegi xam nga na wax naa loolu. Ma la ñun léegi we've learned from this.
Two options.
So am nañ we've learned from this. And then they've twisted the facts. Try to ñu smear ne ñun ñoo tax semaine bi seer te ñëpp xam nañ ñun ñu ko jaay 390. So because of that, when this motor vessel docks, wax ma duñ leen jaay de. They will come and queue like everybody else. Ñu jaay leen.
They leen jox priority.
Why ñun priority duñ leen ko joxati? We will give our stations priority.
Why some stations it am na challenge.
I'm not challenges.
I'm not challenge because the last problem.
Mm-hmm.
I had told you at Hamidou Sisma interview with there were incidences at some stations. Some of your station managers, because Nyom Tamit is their own hustle, is their own businesses, they were selling it. Nyom Solen supply, you guys were giving them priority. Yon bolen ko johe guy, instead of New Wache ko see stations, then don't jai load be businessmen because the businessmen were getting it at a more expensive. ñoom suñ ko war a jaay 415 ñu ngi ko jaay businessman bi 420 or 450 then ñoom ñu ngi am more business so foofu tam problème
la gis nga loolu nag to be very honest ñu mel ni yow ak mboolem ku ñu déglu ñun ñoo war a booloo ñu fight that because ñun déggoon nañ allegation bi we went out to them we reached out to them ne ñu ngi dégg na lii nga naa def but kuñ si jàpp dañ laa daaxa amul compromise we are looking for the evidences so ñu nit indi hard fact evidence ne mu ngi nii jàpp naa ko tap seen moto baa ngi nii bu mu jéeree mu ngi nii mu ngi dem taxaw ci bitig bële mu ngi koo wàccee dinañ ko trace ñoom ñaar yëpp la ñoo sanction mooy driver bi woo mooy kooku fa yooni woo ñoom ñaar yëpp
xam nga lu ñu def kay ma wax la ko xam nga lu ñu def for example yéen soo leen a jox for example a load of 5,000 bags dañ ko yóbbu si store nga waaye fi ñu koo wàccee so yow so moto bi soo koy topp balaa ngaa egga foofu sax dañ la wax ne jënd nañ ko yëpp
I understand. They're going to allegation. We are not also going to allow anybody who work under our roof. We are trying to make you somebody better by opening opportunities for you. You become too greedy to the extent that Yanyuga will not allow that. Now we'll give our stations priority.
That should be the first.
These people have proven to the whole Gambian that they cannot be trusted with the retail business anymore. Prior to bringing Johon, we are going to cut it. We're going to give our stations priority. And they will make sure that Sumajarale man Mr. Hydara, madam, to some of those stations, my end of nono, and sell the cement myself. I will do it.
But don't you think the main issue resolve problem be moy ja oil saturate market bi cement bi mu doy ba nga xamne
lolu is coming very soon. That's the information.
Because hanga lolu so amé ñuy indi Sénégal suñ ko jaayee 600 sax man bu ma gisee bu 415 du jar so su boobaa it will force them also to come back to the market price.
But let me tell you,
lolu is the only solution.
Degala. Lolu moy the only solution, and we have realized this, that these people are not to be trusted anymore. They learn your priorities, and they go all the way just to kill the people. We learn defati lolu. Yahal nañ seen bobu opportunity bobu. They will kill like every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and we will prioritize our stations, let the population go to those stations, unless other retailers follow suit, then people can say, okay, retailer bitam non la de jay, harama dem fofu non. Then we have a deal. But without that, no priority for anybody. But tamit, do you know that retail business when you have stations? These very retailers, they am this grand agenda. They must have them to the Ministry of Trade to complain and query ne. Ñun dañ wara jëna ci retail business ñu bayalen ko. But complaint am amoon na. When the ministry called us, you take you. Wow, they want to buy a guy. You people, do you know what you are talking about? My best bunjene retail market bifi. You buy these people. They will not only politicize it by making cement very expensive to pressure you, because Gambians will come after you and say, we are now buying 600, just like what is happening today. And they will pressure you, and then you will have no choice but to succumb. The Suboba damage will be done. So, but don't even go there. These retail points we have in the Jawel stations are like the anchor points. That's the price anchor points like. And everybody can attest to that. Kila some wise people in the room, no, don't go there. But to test to those people who are in the room, if they are listening to me, we've pulled out of the retail shortly just to give these people priority. Look at what happened. Cement has gone to $600. Much more so than a policy in the Jawel retail station. See, Yanaka am living to retail. Kon 700 sa dingen ko jende cement fee. We are not going to do that again. That priority, this thing we gave them before, they have just spoiled that for themselves. All of them are guilty of it. There is no good person among them. Could jai 500. They are all selling between 5 to 600.
Wow, 525, 575, 600.
So all of them are guilty. And the public is the judge because they have seen it.
But the public is blaming jar oil.
But
I'm just telling you the public perception. The public perception is jar oil more amul cement bu doy. So amul cement.
That's what they are saying. That's the perception.
That's the perception out there. Yen amul cement bu doy. Because they are the biggest player in the market. If you're the biggest player, you get the share of all the blame. Bambosa Aksalam. It seems like they are not even in the market. It's all about jar oil.
And they are in the market, of course.
They are. But like somebody like me, I only use jar oil and bamboo for reasons, which, for reasons.
But now let me come to the availability.
But the thing is, the major perception be, now when cement is not available, the blame automatically goes to jar oil.
They shift it to us.
Jar oil.
But we take it in good faith because, then they wanted to whom much is given, much is expected.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Come can the higher, the bigger market share. And it's a blessing, and we thank God for that. So it comes with certain challenges. And so these are some of the challenges we are talking about. But now going forward.
Logistically, what are the challenges now? I know
the ports need to be dry.
The ports need to be dry.
Immediately.
What can jar oil do to work with government to do that? Because I remember last time
we've given that proposal before. It didn't fly.
What was the proposal?
Well, it was at some point before we get into these vessel purchases, we intimidated to government that, look, allow us to dredge the channel. We'll put our dollar money into it. We'll buy the equipment that are used to do this thing, and the equipment stays in the Gambia. It's another thing. Let us not delve there. So we've done.
What happened to that proposal?
No. Let us not delve there because we've been in topic of its own.
Okay.
We've gone all out to make sure that this channel issue is solved. Then when I say propose and then you develop on jetty and port. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So you want okay, as a major investor and a major customer to the port, this all port is here. I'm in concession. I'm going to local players. So fekene dangen buga develop Banjul port. Contribute.
My thing is, and I've said this in my show last week. And it's not about jar oil. My biggest problem is the government. I said this last week. So gisee ñu jox al port bi ñu ne pour mu gaaw mu effective affaire yi gaaw kon ñun waruñoo am façon problème yi si dëkk bi su dee al port war nañoo xam ne am na ships yoo xam ne duñ dee mun a egga fii nañ def dredging bu gaaw suñ ko munta def ñu ut local partners ñoo xam ne mun nañoo liggéey ak ñoom ñu def ko partnership ñu def ko.
So but the argument there also, I will tell you, to be very honest, truth be told, the way this concession is signed, that's not Alport's duty.
That's not their duty.
Dredging.
That's the port's duty.
That's the Gambia Ports Authority because they own the structure. You see, when I come on the
and then
Banjul Port.
Wow, that's a lot.
To be honest, small opinion as a Gambian, forget about Ja. My personal opinion as a Gambian. Before we talk about Sanyam Port,
they should be fixing Banjul first.
Let's fix Banjul Port. It's easy to fix.
That's true.
And the Banjul Port could be much better than Sanyam. So you can fix it, you can fix. Just need 1 or 2 extra jetties.
Is this the
and then deepen the channel to 14 meters.
Is this the reason?
We can challenge any other.
Is this the reason why we're paying higher for containers?
Of course.
Because if you tell somebody that gaining a container for 694,000, I told somebody and he was like, "That's not true." But no, yes, I took out a container for $694,000.
This is why containers cannot stop flowing from Dakar.
Dakar is
Many
cheaper.
businesses
Dakar is
prefer
cheaper.
to put it there. And do you know why?
Dakar is cheaper.
Because the Dakar port is playing on the economies of scale. You see, when you have legacy cement, you load a 60,000 vessel, full capacity, you pay a freight. Then you have 30,000 capacity, you pay the same freight.
Wow.
Container time is the same. Oh. This channel is a hindrance to our development.
So that means we definitely need that. If it's available, it's not just going to be helpful to you guys, but us
the
as
entire country,
especially business.
Landing costs of goods will be cheaper.
It will be cheaper. Wow.
So it's a must. But I think now they have taken some very serious steps, because I've seen the tender document, they have put it out there. They are even saying that they will do it sooner than anticipated. I think, in fact, people are already working on it right now to see how they can quickly award this contract so that work will start immediately, which I thank them very much for taking this bold step to do this. It's well overdue, but at least now they are very, very fast on it moving forward. But going forward, about the availability, you know, I told you the lightering has been going up despite the bad weather, but now the vessel, once it returns this time, maybe it might return today.
Okay.
Once it returns this time, the only quantity we need to lighten now is about 2,000 tons. That's about half a load. And then the mother vessel can sail in. Once that mother vessel sails in, this availability issue will fall. So that I'm telling you here on camera.
And how soon do we expect
this? Will be, our calculations is saying that now towards Sunday, the weekend, you know, we'll be able to do this if the weather permits it. Our calculation, that's what it gives us, that by Sunday, Monday, maybe people will wake up and see, you know, trucks lined up and fleeing the factory, going to do their supplies. But I will also say this thing here. Those traders who think we are going to prioritize them again, I am saying that priority is dead, because they have not lived up to the expectation of the people. They've been very greedy. They've made this very expensive, and it's not acceptable. And now, instead of them trying to be honest to the population and tell them that the whole thing is because of us, we buy it at this, but you know, we add this cost, we add that cost. Let them give their justification. That's why we are selling at 600, but definitely we are getting at 390. But they are telling those same consumers, when they ask them, why are you people selling cement 600? So they, you know, it's jar oil.
Cement amut jar oil.
Jar oil. So they're trying to bring disrepute to us by doing this smear campaign with ulterior motive to pressure government, which they have succeeded, of course. But it didn't work. It backfired instead.
It worked for them.
No, but it backfired.
Because they are able to bring cement now from Senegal.
But it backfired. Because what they promised, you just read an article online that says that the promise they gave them, why they supported them and campaigned for them, was that they would bring cement down to 420.
425 and 470, yes.
420. But instead, it's stuck at 500. And you know what's the funniest thing? When journalists go to interview them, they are refusing to give receipts. Now they are in their group, you know what they've put there? They've communicated that let them not be issuing receipts, because people are using it as a proof. It's very sad. Sometimes I think of all these things. I said, who are we? We call ourselves Muslims. But I think we are just followers of Islam. We are not Muslims. Come to think of how people behave so greedily just to harm people for their own selfish gain. It's insane. You know, now even to get a receipt from them, try it. You are a journalist, send your boys, tell them to go out, buy when they see, tell them, the moment they ask a receipt, they are suspicious. Because on that receipt, they're going to write 550 on it, or 500 minimum. It's a 32.5. So it's a shame on them. That's why they are refusing now to even issue receipts. I managed to get some receipts there in my phone from them, from Farafenye to Kawur to Kombo. All of them are nothing shy of 500 and above.
Because they are bringing it and it's costing them up to 420 at Farafenye.
But we told government that it's not, that cement is not the solution. If it was the solution, charity begins at home. They would have made it cheaper in their own country.
So what this exposes here is the argument that you guys gave me, that it's cheaper for them to buy it in-house in Gambia than to go to Senegal.
That's why most of them are not going. Most of them refuse to go because it's no longer lucrative. The circumvention is no longer there. It's a dead thing because the payments at the border. The payment even at the $30. Even at the $30. Now they are trying to appeal to government to leave the $30 also. Now I said, if they leave that $30, I can promise Gambian we will sell cement here at 360 at the factory. At the factory. And then we see when maybe they will be able to sell it maybe at, they will take our price. That is better for us, the consumer. Yes, but you know, government has listed all the duties. The only thing they have maintained is the VAT. And of course, as a business, give back something as a taxpayer. So the $30 is not bad. Let us be fair. It's not bad at all. Gambians also need to benefit from this. As a consumer and also as a citizen, benefiting from certain services that government also try to fund from these taxpayers. So this is the situation. You know, so it's not a bad thing to reduce it, but despite the reduction, most of them, number one, are reluctant because it's no longer lucrative. Number two, they cannot sell it as they promised their friends online. You know, now they are selling it at $500. So it backfired.
Hopefully, we will reach out to some of them and try to have them on the show, because I remember on several occasions when we reached out to them, especially when the campaign was on, a lot of us supported them.
Yes, I know.
We supported them, and I was one of them that supported them, because most of them, their cry was their Gambian businesses, and they also want to make ends meet. Now, if they promise that they will be selling at a certain price and we're not seeing that, I think it will just be right for us to go back to them and see what was the contributing factors, why they
are not even talking to some journalists. So many journalists contacted them this, and now they are running away from the very journalists they were running to.
We'll reach out to them and see.
Reach out to them.
Yeah.
And then squish them with this thing as to why is it that they cannot sell the cement to the consumers at $420 as they promised. And then, they will give you their challenges. And of course, I know they have challenges.
Okay. We'll hear from
This is why I told government categorically, they cannot do this. If you do it, you will see the result, the consequences.
Somebody is asking me to ask you to provide receipts. But obviously, we have even seen receipts.
I can send them to you. Receipts are here.
We have even seen receipts of some of them.
You know,
even Western Gambia is reporting it. That,
exactly. Anyway,
yeah, Western Gambia is.
I will WhatsApp them to you. Put them on your page.
Yeah, Western Gambia is even reporting that.
So the reason why I don't just want to display, but I can share with you because. Yeah. But I think it's a public document. It is.
It's a public document.
You know, so
it's a public. I think the truth is they are selling it at 600 at 550. Yeah. That is the truth.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We need to know why, because the truth is Gambia government is taking from the taxpayers
exactly
duty payments that they're supposed to do, which was 180, gone back to $30. So that money is supposed to be going to GRA for all of us. If they are taking that away for them to be able to bring it at 30, and the promise was to make it affordable, I think we have blamed GRA all this while. Now, for them also, they need to bring us proof why they cannot sell it to the price that they promised us. So we need to check with them. I will check that with them.
And also, what I want to add there, you see the cement price. My argument, and I've always told, when I went to the last meeting, I told government categorically, these prices, for them to come down, government needs to step in.
Yeah. How?
Even though we call this market a free market economy.
Yeah, how does government need to?
But government today is legally grounded. They have all the legal grounds to step up and put a price cap on cement as an essential commodity. Simply because cement is being categorized as an essential commodity.
It is, yeah.
Not only being categorized there as essential commodity, but because of it's an essential commodity, government is foregoing taxes.
Yes.
For cement.
That's true.
So if you are foregoing dollars that should have gone into your coffers, you give it into traders, and those traders are doing whatever they want with prices. You can step in and say, no, I have a say and I have a share in this price because it's my money in it. My investment is in that.
This is exactly what I said about rice, oil, and all these essential commodities.
If you see that it has been distorted beyond, you can say step in and say no.
If you are taking taxpayer money and taking it away from your coffers
so and letting the legal grounds.
Yes. Because you want to stabilize. Yeah. If it's not stabilized,
now if they think that we can be a market, we can only stabilize market by crashing prices. That's what everybody knows us for. Yeah. We did it in rice, we did it in cement, we did it with oil, we did it with everything. Our newest product, by the way, is soap. We are into soap now. You know,
this is advertisement.
But I'm just telling you, all our products, we crash prices.
Yeah.
You
are now into rice, you are into oil, you're into water, you are into oil, you are into cement.
And you know what is the good thing about all these things you count?
Yeah.
There are Gambian citizens working in all these sectors, areas, feeding their families from the proceeds they get from there.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. And I'm encouraging every Gambian not to overlook any kind of an investment. Invest. Look at you here.
Yeah.
You have people working for you. You know, thanks to you.
Yeah.
You understand? So people like you, we should support as a Gambian. You know, this protectionist idea, I call it, People say it's very wrong for government to do this and that and that. But let me tell you, give me one country in this western part of Africa that is not doing exactly. Gambia, in fact, is very lame in it. It's only the cement sector. But there are countries here, every sector, every product they produce in their country, you cannot take that same produce into their country.
Senegal.
Number one.
Senegal.
Nigeria is also a culprit. Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo, Benin, name them. They are all playing this game. But they come here, go to a social media platform and say, it's a marketplace, it's a free market, this thing, blah, 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 blah. Free market, yes. But every country has an agenda, an industrial agenda. Because every nation on earth knows that the only way you can develop your country is to industrialize and create employment. Why is Donald Trump having all these tariff wars all over the world? The biggest country,
America
the mightiest, America first.
America first.
They're slapping 150% tariffs, 200% tariffs. Because they want to support local produce, Americans, or jobs that have been shipped out of America to come back to America. So every nation, serious government on earth is doing this. And that's the only way those countries are developing. If you want to follow suit, let us not be stuck where we are stuck. Let us help people like Fatou Touré and others, Ja and others, so that others will also look at that, be encouraged to come and invest. That's the only way we move forward. But without that, how can we move? Look at us, onions. It's very sad. When the season comes, you see how these trucks are flowing across our borders.
Yeah.
Because they supported them to reach to that point. Now they have satisfied their local market. Now they are going international. Let us step up at least. Let's change the mindset a little bit. This Gambia force, mentality. People should grow up. In fact, they should even be teaching it in schools. People grow up with the mentality. Gambia will be a different Gambia very soon. But when you see Ja Oil, the cement, why is he the only one? It is because of the Ja Oil today has added 2 new factories, all employing Gambians. So the dividend, the dividend has been paid back. Whatever they have given us, we are plowing it back. Look at the rice. We've gone big in the market now. We are one of the biggest in the country when it comes to rice. In the history of this country, for one company to bring 32,000 metric tons of rice is Ja Oil. Go check in the records. It's not anywhere for a single importer. People will bring 30,000 vessels, but it's 3-4 people who will share it. So we are plowing back. Look at the Ja Agro Food. It's going big. We are now planning to make sure that we win the Gambia off of vegetable imports, starting with onion. And inshallah, by the grace of Allah, we want to start doing this. We want to start this in 2026. The cropping season is already on. So are we moving the Gambia backward or forward as an investor? We are going forward. So it's a good thing. Let's look at the Gambia. Don't look at Ja. Those very people criticizing us, their families are benefiting directly or indirectly. The rice we sell, they buy it and eat it at 1,700. Without Ja, they would have still been buying rice maybe at 3,000. So let us look at the Gambia. Let us not focus on individuals. Let's look at the bigger picture. We want you to have a big television that is international in the future.
True. Yeah.
But it has to start with support we are giving you businesses to expand. Gambian advertisements, all focusing on Fatou Touré. Let's go there. He's our Gambian sister. They give you market. You get money and then you say, I'm going big. Let me invest into a television so that I can go international and still maintain my online media platform.
Mm-hmm.
This is what countrymen should do for each other, but not to be holding on that crab mentality.
And I think, a lot of people support the Gambia Force idea, and I think, but what also people are concerned
is demonstrating it.
But if, for example, if all the time we are encouraging that, but there's also scarcities, that brings a lot of issues. They will say,
you see,
can they do it?
Scarcity
and people
will always happen.
Yeah.
In every product.
But then if it continues to affect the consumer, then becomes an issue.
It is conditional.
Okay.
And I gave you the scenario. What causes it?
What causes
it's
it?
not capacity issue. Right now, what we have in cement, is about 165,000 metric tons of cement is sitting at sea today.
Yeah.
That's about 3.7 million bags of cement.
Yeah.
Can Gambia consume that in 1 month?
No.
So it's not a capacity issue. It's a logistic issue.
Yeah.
The infrastructure is not there to support those vessels. We also are caught up with the bad weather. But inshallah, we are saying that by the weekend, if the weather permits it, people will start to see positive ideas out there. And so many people will also cry. They will come to you in the retail business. They will say that they are not able to access cement. But tell them that, and let them listen to me.
You're supplying the...
We're going to prioritize our station because they have proven to the whole country that they cannot be trusted.
Maybe I should get into this cement business now.
Get into it.
It looks
it's a
like
good business, but don't do it 500.
No, I'll not do it. You know me, if I sell 500, people, price.
We have a booming in construction industry.
I'll definitely get into
So it's a good business.
I think I
would
should.
encourage everybody today, if you are a small business, you want to start a small, go into cement.
Go into cement.
You know, go into cement. It's small. And so that we have more Gambians into it. Because many people, you see Gambians, but the visible faces you see most of the time, unfortunately,
is somebody behind it.
Somebody behind it.
Okay.
So this is it. But this is the situation, Fatou.
Okay. Finally, what is your message? I know there are a lot of people who are worried, are concerned, and rightfully so. For example, somebody like me, even after sitting with you guys, I definitely came on board. And I said, look, I saw the vision. I went to the Buffalo, and I'm planning to go to Farafenni.
When you come to Farafenni, please do me a favor, go to the farm.
I have to go. So I'm going to have to plan a day with Hamidou, and go to the farm and go to Farafenni
and see for your eyes.
And see what you guys are doing. I need to work on that.
Anytime you took Europeans or foreigners, expats, to go visit the farm, the place is hidden. When they stand and look at it, they say they've never known that there's this massive investment in this country, Gambia. Because what they see, they cannot believe it.
Yeah.
The place is massive. That place could change the Gambia story.
Okay.
By the will of Allah.
I'll definitely go there.
And this is why we are starting with vegetables.
Okay.
Rice we are still doing, but that will take time.
He said to prepare the land itself.
Itself is a big challenge. But with these other commodities, we can do it. Definitely we can do it.
Well, I'll have to do that. I think sometimes it's also important to show people what you guys are doing.
Come and see.
I'll definitely have to come.
So that you show it to the people. The way people are the eyes, the ears, and the mouth of the public. So what you show them, I'm sure they will trust their eyes.
And I remember when I had that interview with Hamidou, there were a lot of positive feedbacks.
Of course.
People said it was good that he spoke. They understood where the challenges you guys are facing, but also what was the realistic way the industry was operating. And he was very candid with that. So we'll go see what is happening in
Come on, see. And then inshallah, I want to assure the public that it's unfortunate what has happened has happened. But I want them to understand that this 600 price, 500 price is not our making.
Okay.
If we had wanted that to happen, we would have increased our factory price and also benefit from it. But we are not benefiting from that high profit margins people are putting in their pocket. If I told it was something that was even going to our pocket, you can say, okay, it's jar oil. It's the culprit here. But we still maintain that low price, the lowest in the sub-region still now. To sell cement at 390, 42.5 R, you don't find it anywhere. Because we put the public first. We are very consumer-centric. And I want people to understand this.
That.
Whatever we do is to the best interest of the public. We are going through all these challenges. It's because we don't want to raise the cement price. We want to keep it low. That's why we did this extra investment and doing these very laborious lightering operations that we could have said is none of our business. We shouldn't get into it. A typical businessman will think like that. But we said, no, it's the Gambia, it's our Gambia. Let's do it for them. You know, we are growing. Let us help them also to grow. You know,
and definitely the promise is by next week we'll start
inshallah,
seeing,
if the weather permits it, if that motor vessel lands, docks, you will see for yourself. And every Gambians will see for themselves. And now the next complaint you will get here, and people listening to me, is they will tell you that when you go to Jawel, the line is so long because they are taking all the cement to their stations. Tell them that we are doing it for a good reasons and to protect the Gambians, since they have demonstrated that they cannot be trusted to protect the consumers. We'll protect them.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Hydara. It's
Thank you
nice
very
talking
much.
to you. And
Thank you so much.
Hopefully in the next 1 week or two, we'll be in Farafenni just to look at that and bring a more better update for the Gambian people, what you guys are doing. But you know us, we are also very critical of stuff that comes out, especially when we are buying it at 600.
Yeah, I know.
I have complained week in, week out, every week for the past 3 weeks.
I wish
because
they
we
could
buy
just be like us and then just be modest with their profits, and every Gambian will survive.
Yeah.
But they decided to be greedy because they want to make millions in a very short period. And historically in this country, let me tell you, businesses have operated like that in the past. Ever since I was a child until this stage, I've been very attentive to businesses and their growth and downfalls.
Yeah.
Usually they all melt away. When people give their hard-earned money to you and they are crying in their heart, that money will never benefit you.
It never benefits you.
No, it will never benefit you.
Yeah.
They will crash.
Yeah, they'll crash. Hopefully, soon we can go to the stations and find cement there at 4:15.
Hopefully, very soon. As soon as this motor vessel docks,
we should be able to
we'll
get
take it as a priority.
A priority.
And then we'll monitor those stations also very well. And we'll tell the public that if they see anything fishy, let them call us directly and report it. Let them even take shots.
I'll be the first person.
Please.
And then we will also follow up with you guys as to this when this crisis go down to see what is happening in the market. Thank you very much, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And and that we will take our first commercial break. When we come back, I have Essa Njie. Essa is going to join us, and we'll look at what is happening in the country and see you guys very soon in the next just 1 minute.
Ja Oil is Gambia's leading dealer when it comes to fuel and has made it a duty to satisfy our customers at all costs. Vehicle owners and drivers need not to worry about getting quality and affordable fuel anymore. That is the reason we have our branches spread all over the country for easy access. For good and clean fuel, the only place to go is Ja Oil. Your need for good and durable petrol, gasoline and kerosene has been covered by Ja Oil, so you need not to worry. Walk to any of our branches and get served to satisfaction. With Ja Oil, your satisfaction is our priority. That is why we have branches at your doorstep to make accessibility easy for you. With our professional and friendly staff, we can assure you satisfaction. To get the best fuel for your engines, the only place to go is Ja Oil. With Ja Oil, it's all enjoyment. That is why we are offering you low charges at our stations on the Coastal Road in Banjul. For more information, you can call 770-8080, 322-9070, 714-7273, or 387-1321. Ja Oil, the pride of the nation.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors...
Welcome back to the show, and of course, with me, I have Essa Njie. Essa, how do I introduce Essa again? Essa, welcome back.
Yeah, thank
America
you.
Malonata.
Well, not America, Malonata.
So school, Essa, how is school going?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's going fine. I'm into my third year now.
Third year, wow.
So hopefully 2 more years to go. Hopefully.
PhD, how many years is PhD, your course? How many years is your course that you do?
So it depends on the country you're doing your PhD.
Yeah.
Mostly in Europe, it takes 3 years, 4 years. But in the US system,
oh my God.
Well, they will tell you the minimum is 4 years, but mostly people go 5 years.
Okay.
Some can get delayed and go up to 6 years.
Wow.
or 7 years. But hopefully I wouldn't get to that.
How are you managing the U.S. weather and, you know, everything else that is happening?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, just that the winter is sometimes crazy. And that's why some of us have to look for ways of trying to run away at this time because the weather is bad.
The weather is bad.
Last year, 2023 and 2024, it was crazy. I was there the whole winter. So this time around, I'm in the Gambia, and it's really nice.
It's beautiful out here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at what is happening in the Gambia, Essa. I know I have always tried to drag you into Gambian issues.
Yeah, I know.
You have always stayed away, but recently I saw you make some commentary. I mean, what is your perception about the Gambian political landscape right now? I think we have about 22 registered political parties, and we have more parties right now also at the IEC. What is your perception right now?
So, you know, my favorite politician, you know, Mbuisen Ndolozi, well, let me say he's no more into politics. He's decided to quit.
Yeah.
He was an MP in South Africa, part of the economic freedom fighters. You know, he once said that the state has become so attractive to parasitic individuals whose sole mission is to destroy the state. And by the time they are done destroying with the state, nothing else will be left. And so what needs to be done in order to protect the state from the destructive powers of these parasitic individuals is to get the politics right.
To get it right.
Yes. But how do we get the politics right? In my opinion, we need that conscious citizenry, but also we need the right institutions. And once we're able to get the conscious citizenry, you know, we will be able to get the right institutions. And of course, in the context of Africa, that's why Kwame Nkrumah told us that, you know, Africa needs a new type of citizen who submerges self in service to the state and humankind. And of course, who upholds greed and detests vanity. Once we're able to get those citizenry who are conscious of the very purpose of the state, why the state exists in the first place, we will be able to get the politics right. And of course, we'll be able to build these robust institutions that we need. And if you look at Africa, I mean, the reason why I'm trying to lay a foundation, looking at our political landscape right now. If you look at Africa, we're dealing with the crisis of institutions, right? It's an institutional crisis that we are having right now in the continent. And if you look at our governance system, mostly I've argued that we have what we call tick box governance style. What governments do on the continent is to create institutions for the sake of creating them. But these institutions are not independent. They're not robust. They are powerless kind of, and they are not there to scrutinize, to make sure that laws are implemented to the latter. And that's why we are running into this crisis. And if you read this very interesting book by Asimoglu and Robinson called Why Nations Fail, specifically they argued that it's not because of their geographic location or whether they are endowed with resources or not. Rather, they fail because of the existence of what they call extractive economic institutions, which kind of fail to create the necessary environment or space for, you know, people to invest, you know, save and also innovate for the nation to strive. So what happens mostly is that the institution or the state rather is captured by few elites at the expense of the masses, right? So if you look at our political space as well, both in the government and also in the opposition, why is everybody running into party politics?
Why is that?
Why? That's the fundamental question. And that's the foundation I'm trying to lay to say that the state has become so attractive, going back to Mbuisen Ndolozi's statement, that the state has become so attractive to parasitic individuals. So when we look at parasitic individuals, we are not only looking at those in government, but we're also looking at even those that are outside government. In the opposition, why is everybody interested in party politics? Because party politics is seen as a lucrative enterprise. Lucrative in the sense that it brings you money, it brings you fame, it brings you prestige, it brings you position at the expense of the masses. And that's why everybody is running helter-skelter, you know, showing interest in party politics. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with someone else. I don't want to mention where he's working, otherwise it will be known. But he was also like, you know, we're still working on this. We want to come into politics. I'm like, okay, it's been years now. You've been talking about this, but why? Why are you interested? And the person was like, I've served this country in a different capacity, and now I want to do it in another capacity that is in politics. But you're not telling me the fundamental reason why you are going into this. So you ask a lot of people, why are you even going into party politics?
Yeah.
They only tell you, so it's the same thing. It's a uniform language, and that language is, the country is not going in the right direction, and I want to fix it. But how do you fix the problems that we have in this country is a question that a lot of people, a lot of them cannot answer. And you look at the proliferation of political parties, obviously, yes, something that we can credit to our democracy to say, in a sense, our democracy is advancing, it's progressing, because we're able to liberalize the political space and have, many political parties existing. But we're not only interested in quantity. More importantly, we want quality. What are these political parties bringing on the table? If you tell me that the NPP should not be entrusted with the affairs of this country, tell me what the UDP or the DOI or GDC can do to offer an alternative. Right? Because we've seen in this country, parties will emerge and say, we are here to offer alternatives. And just within a year or less,
they join the president.
They join the incumbent.
Yeah. CA, that's CA.
So is it an alternative, or some will call it policy alignment? Now the policies were different, but now you want to align the policies. How do you do that? So it's a space that is it's confusing, and I think at some point people blame the IEC for not implementing the laws, because the reason why we have many political parties, in fact, if they implement the laws to the letter, probably some of these political parties would not have been existing by now. But I think the IEC, and that's why I said we have this tick box governance style in Africa. So when Yahya Jammeh came in '94, he created the IEC, I think created the NCCE, because the elections in the Gambia were being administered by the Ministry of, I think, local government, right? Yeah, so then the IEC was created. But control this IEC, not independent, was appointing the chairman, of the Electoral Commission, has a grip or control over what so the independence of the commission itself is questionable, right? Yeah. And you look at also, even when Barrow came to power in 2017, we talk about the National Human Rights Council, right? Being National Human Rights Commissions, rather, being created. But also, you look at the commission, I always say that it's been reduced to a press releasing statement that something happened, they made a press release, they do some research, what is happening and all that. But I'm saying that the work of NHRIs, that is the National Human Rights Institutions, I mean, globally we call them National Human Rights Institutions, NHRIs, I think their works will also go beyond, and of course that includes the Gambia's National Human Rights Commission. Their works will even go beyond education and advocacy, right? It should also cover having that legal power and mandate to sue government where necessary. But these institutions are being created by the state, by the government, and at some point they're being funded by the government. So the independence of the commission itself is something that will be. So when that happens, what we do is that we just tick the box. Okay, now they've created a National Human Rights Commission. The box is ticked. The international community will say, oh, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, there is a National Human Rights Commission. And then you say Anti-Corruption Commission. The box is ticked. Now, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, there is an Anti-Corruption Commission. So we are ticking the boxes. But what is the effectiveness? I've seen the other time people also questioning the commissioners recently of the Anti-Corruption Commission. And people, people just wondered, like,
what was the process?
What was the process?
Who are the other applicants?
Yeah, I think I saw somebody ask this very fundamental question. The list of all the other applicants he wants to know, but nothing is being provided for now. I think there was a response to say that they cannot reveal the identities of those individuals and stuff. But people, I mean, I remember a time when Mustafa sat here, Mustafa Dabo said, a country of 2 million people or more, we're asking this question of, who are the people that should be in the Anti-Corruption Commission? That shows that, sorry for my language, but that shows that our society is morally decadent. If you are asking 2 point something million people, you are asking this question, who are the people that should be in this commission?
Yeah.
It means our society, Gambia as a whole, we can't even trust an individual to say, this one can fight corruption.
Can fight corruption.
So, I mean, I know someone who, told me that he applied for this. I wouldn't reveal the name, but in my opinion, that guy is more than qualified, if I can say that, to be in this commission. So I was flabbergasted. I was really shocked to know that he's not being selected to be part of the final three. I mean, nothing personal against the final three, but I think it's a question that deserves an answer. What was the process leading to this? You're setting up an anti-corruption commission. An anti-corruption commission, the foundation should be transparency. Yeah. But you don't even want to be transparent about the process leading to the selection of those commissioners. Then there's a problem.
That's a problem. You started somewhere, and I think I want to go there briefly, like just 5 minutes. Africa itself, you said we are in a crisis. How many of especially in the sub-region, ECOWAS, how many members are now led by military? We have seen recently what happened in Guinea. Togo, they didn't succeed, but it's almost gone to Benin, sorry. But a lot of us believe these are created by the leadership. Because I have said this here, when African leaders, they create constitutional coups, either by changing the mandate. For example, in Guinea-Bissau, the president term limit ended, and he even extended his presidency. Stage an election happened, and stage a coup. Manufactured coup. The vice president, the prime minister of Senegal said it. The president of Rwanda said it. Many people,
even Jonathan,
even Goodluck Jonathan, who was there, everybody believed this was a stage coup just to make sure the results were not announced. Now, all of these problems itself are created by these leaders. We saw what happened in Senegal. ECOWAS had to put their foot, people died before they could even have the elections, even though it was moved the first time. Now, all of these things are being orchestrated by the leaders themselves. But most of the time, they condemn these coups, but it stops there. Because obviously, when the crisis was happening, when everything is being cooked, they just, most of the time, they stay silent. But then when the problems happen, because when Guinea-Bissau president extended his mandate, what did ECOWAS do? Today, we're in this situation. When it happened in Senegal, what did they do? It had to take people to die. If you have a certain aware mindset of people, they will do things that will really put pressure. For example, in other countries, I saw ECOWAS say, Yaya Jammeh should not be sending audios in Gambia. Like, Yaya Jammeh is a Gambian citizen. He has the right to send audios. But did ECOWAS ever thought about Gambia not having a third term, even though the Gambia signed the ECOWAS protocol 2 years ago? Yes, our constitution says you can go run up to, but in ECOWAS, in the things that create all of these tensions, they don't handle internal issues. When they happen, they will tell you these are internal crises. But when it gets to another level, a lot of people believe the reason why all this crisis is happening is because they're protecting each other. And when it escalates, that's when they intervene. How will that help to solve the crisis that we have in the region?
Yeah, so I think, not holding brief for ECOWAS, but one thing I think ECOWAS is dealing with, which many times, most of these international organizations deal with, is the problem of enforcement.
Okay.
How do they enforce their rules and regulations, especially that, because they will tell you that in the international system, in international politics, there is no world police. There is nobody that is policing the states to say, if you do this, today, if I violate the law here, the police can come after me.
That's true.
But at the international level, who is the police to come after Fatou Touré? If Fatou Touré as president violates a particular international protocol or law. Because it's happening at the international level. We see time and again when other countries will violate international law, international protocols, without, even the UN is dealing with this problem of enforcement, right? Even when you look at human rights instruments, there is the problem of enforcement. And ECOWAS is also dealing with that challenge in terms of enforcing. Today we're talking about free movement of goods and services, but go to Senegal, Gambia and Senegal at the border, we're dealing with that crisis, right?
Yes, that's right.
For long. And I think ECOWAS as an organization, indeed, yes, has evolved in terms of moving from focus on economic integration to also political union, because realizing that economic integration is not possible or wouldn't be possible without fostering political integration between countries and solving our political crisis. But I think at some point, like you said, the organization really needs to do better in terms of calling their own people, I mean the leadership, because remember also, it's the leaders of these countries that are also running ECOWAS, literally. Yeah. Right? They make the decisions that affect themselves. So, as they always say, you cannot be a judge in your own case, right? Something like that. You can't eat your cake and have it, right? Yeah. So, these are people that are running these countries. Leaders of these countries are the same people that are also running ECOWAS. And in the case of the Gambia, I think this was way back in 2014 when ECOWAS tried to persuade the government of the Gambia under Jammeh to, agree to the term limit. I think it was only Gambia and Togo under Ayasembe Ayadema that did not have a term limit at the time. That refused to agree to having a term limit. If you look at most of these countries in the sub-region, if not all of them have except Gambia and Togo. And I think that is something that, so ECOWAS has made tremendous strides in that aspect, at least making sure that majority of its members have term limit in their constitutions. But you see, Fatou, it's not enough for people to have, and that's why conversations around the draft constitution. I watched many of your shows when you have when you had guests here. Your position shifted at some point to say, let's push this. At least we have a term limit.
I did.
I know. But initially you wanted it rejected.
I was saying, first day I said back to sender. But I think I started that word back to sender. But at some point, I thought the way we were going, we needed at least a constitution that has term limit. And we can start changing things slowly, bit by bit.
I got that. I get that. But you see, the thing is, my argument is, yes, it's good we have term limit. But term limit, having it in the constitution is not even a guarantee that these leaders will go at the end of their term. We have seen examples in other countries, right? We have seen, let's go back to history. And
but at least, after 2 terms, we can put some pressure on it.
I know.
And we'll have the legitimate right to put pressure on them.
I know. We'll have the right. I'm just saying.
But today we cannot, we can push, but we have a limit.
We have a limit. I get that. I get that. I'm just saying, if you look at historically, even post-Cold War, if you go to Zambia, for example, when post-Cold War first democratic elections were held in the country, what happened? They tried to change the constitution, doctor the constitution. So many a times, even people that are in the opposition, when they come to power, they are the ones that will, now, when they are in opposition, they'll be casting blame on the one in power. But once they are in power, they try to change the same constitution to favor themselves. So, I mean, for me, yes, it is important that we have term limit in our constitution. But you know what I was more interested in that draft constitution is about accountability. And for me, once that is missing, that element is missing. I'm not interested in term limit. Because at the end of the day, if there is term limit, 1 term, 5 years, another term, 5 years, 10 years, you can serve that. But there is no accountability mechanism or measures in the constitution. Leaders can do whatever they want to do because they know very well that they will be protected. There is no accountability measure or mechanisms in the constitution that will hold them to account after 10 years. So if you come today and say, Essa, you run for only 10 years, you can serve for only 10 years. I serve 5 years, 5 years. Knowing fully well that there is no accountability after, though these accountability elements in the constitution are not that strong, I can do whatever I want to do within that 10 years and go scot-free because I know that I will not be held accountable. But it's good that we have the term limit, but at least that those elements of accountability for me are the most important. And once those ones are missing, then it renders the whole exercise futile. And that's why I was always arguing that yes, we need a term limit, but can't Gambians focus on the main issue here, ensuring that we have strong accountability mechanisms or provisions in the Constitution that will ensure that, because if people know that, okay, yes, even if people know that there's no term limit, but there are strong accountability mechanisms or measures or provisions in the Constitution, they'll be careful. Well, in 15 years, whether it's going to be 15 or 20 years, I will leave office one day.
And I'll be held accountable.
I'll be held accountable. So for me, it's vice versa. One cannot go in the absence of the other. So we cannot put much emphasis on that. But going back to this, to the issue about ECOWAS and term limits within the sub-region, you see, military will always present to us. This afternoon, I was having a conversation with Madi before coming here, and then we're talking about how the military recently, has shown interest. Well, this is not the first time. We have seen the first waves of military coups in the 60s when Kwame Nkrumah and others were being overthrown. We have seen even in the 80s, countries like Mauritania, Nigeria have witnessed several military coups, Sierra Leone and others. I think Gambia is lucky to be the only country that witnessed one coup. Senegal has never witnessed a coup in the sub-region. Well, in Africa, in fact. Senegal, I want to believe, I stand to be corrected, but Senegal has never witnessed a coup. Yes. I can tell you. And Gambia has witnessed only one successful military coup. Right? So, but military come in on the pretext that they have a duty, a moral duty to save the state from rampant corruption. Remember when Senator Sabali testified at the TRRC, he said, well, they felt like they have a moral duty. They had a moral duty to save the Gambia, to rescue the Gambia from the inept and corrupt Jawara administration at the time. But the question posed to him by Essa was that, what authority legally do you have to intervene in politics? There is no basis for that. But they will always think that they have a duty to guard. That's what we call guardian coup. Right? In military coups, we call it guardian coup. They see themselves as the guardian of the people, that they have to protect the civilian population because ballot boxes are not the solution. So when the military feels like ballot box cannot remove long-standing authoritarian leaders from power, they see the weapon as the only solution and they intervene. But also let's ask ourselves, Fatou, as military regimes or military governments do better to us than the civilian governments that they replace? Because when they come, they sing the song of transparency, accountability, rampant corruption and all that. But when they come, sometimes they become worse. They become more corrupt than the previous administration. So you look at Yahya Jammeh when he came, he removed Jawara. You talked about rampant corruption. Well, we could say probably corruption was decentralized under Jawara. But under Jammeh, it was centralized. It was Yahya Jammeh taking. All right? So they come to create more problems than giving us solutions. And that's why we should be very careful. I see people do celebrate these military takeovers. I'm very careful about it. I know what conditions create them.
Because Essa, the thing is, if you have leaders who have no regard for the people, you have leaders who have no respect for the Constitution. You have leaders who have no sympathy for the plight of the people. At some point, people feel like they need a break. Now, I am not a big fan of the military.
Government fan, not a big fan.
I like the Malian leadership. The ones in Burkina Faso. I kind of like them because for now, what they're doing is they are making a lot of changes.
They are also being dictatorial at some point. Jawara is also arresting people.
I kind of like
journalists. He's going after journalists.
I kind of like them because, you see, what is the difference then?
Even in Guinea-Conakry, the same thing is happening. They're going after journalists.
But the thing is, when you look at the entire situation, what is the difference? The civilian governments are arresting people, they're arresting journalists, they're arresting people, they're stealing, they're doing all of that. The military is they're taking a break from them and changing them, and they're also coming in. It's like basically the same.
No, I get your point.
It's confusing, even if you're an advocate of no coups, but at some point you're looking, okay, what's the difference?
No, I get your point. You see, I'm
asking, what authority do they have? Those leaders who are doing all of this to our institutions, they are destroying our independent institutions. They're doing all of this, and they're creating these avenues for the military to do what they're doing.
I get your point. You see, when I said I see people celebrating. You know, you mentioned one thing.
Yeah.
You said, what is the difference?
Yeah.
What the military governments do is what civilians do.
Yeah.
And then someone comes and celebrate military takeover. What are you celebrating then?
A break.
Because there's no difference.
A break. At least one person who was enriching himself and his family is going away and someone else is coming.
Yeah, but again, so still we go back to the same problem, right? But so I'm not holding brief for civilian governments. I know.
Yeah.
In fact, the other time I wrote an article about events in the Gambia. I mean, when I looked at the Gala protesters, for example, how they were malhandled, you know, by the police and all that. I was like, now what is happening? And if you observe in the sub-region, especially, I mean, after the 90s, if you look at African politics, mostly those civilian governments, in fact, have transformed themselves into dictatorial governments, right? Yeah. They've transformed themselves. The leadership themselves have transformed themselves into dictators instead of the military. Because at least for a break from the 90s, we've had, you know, a minimal number of coups compared to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, if you put together. So we have seen more civilian governments coming to power in Africa. Yeah. But what we have seen is what, you know, scholars call democratic backsliding. You know, erosion of civil liberties. When police go after people, protesters, for example, peaceful protesters, you look at the Gala protesters, for example, unarmed, people that were unarmed, you come after them, arrest them, you know, throw them into the car, take them to mile 2, you know. So these are things that are happening even with civilian governments. They are doing them. Yeah. But for me, I am not a fan of military coups in the sense that I see no difference when the military come to power. You see, many times what they do, they sell this populist agenda, nationalism, which is good. Yeah. And I like those styles of Traore and others, you know, nationalism, patriotism, you know, localization, and making sure that everything is just like the what's in a Sankara's idea in Burkina. I like those things. But at the end of the day, the civil liberties that we talk about, the fundamental rights and freedoms that we talk about, these things are absent as well. Yeah. They will never guarantee these things. So at the end of the day, we go back to the same problem. We argue that in the past, the civilian government were, you know, violating human rights and all that. The military comes, we take a break, and then they go back to the same style. Yeah. So what exactly are we looking for? So for me, that is why starting my conversation, I talk about what? Conscious citizenry. Yeah. You see, if we have a conscious citizenry, we don't even need the military to intervene. Yeah. A government. That is the beauty about democracy. Democracy gives us the opportunity to change government where necessary. When we feel like this government is not doing the right thing, the ballot box is there. But if you don't have a conscious citizenry, today the reason why the military in Burkina or Guinea or somewhere will think about coup is because they know very well that the people that are voting continue to vote for a corrupt government.
The same people.
The same people.
Yeah.
So if the citizenry that are given power by the constitution, by the laws to say, go to the ballot box and change, those are the people that will go to the ballot box and still vote for a corrupt government.
The same.
When they agree that this government is corrupt, they agree. You talk to them, they will tell you, yes, this government is corrupt.
Yeah, but
this government is incompetent. But you still come and vote for them. Yeah. And then we sit down and say, the same people sit down and say, no, you know, we don't have a choice. We don't have an option. The military is the only solution. We are the same people.
Yeah, and we are the
ones who vote for these governments, and then we say there's no way out. It's only the military that can rescue us. So why?
But the arguments that they were giving are given to us most of the time is they don't win these elections. They know the system. They steal these elections.
But
what do you say to that?
But okay, fine.
Because it is the same government that appoints the IEC and everybody that works there. It is the same government that fund these elections. The same government that control all these institutions, and they have the way of manipulating allegedly to steal elections. Allegedly.
So
that's the argument.
I will answer this question in this way. You say we're talking about the people. Yeah. Us. Who is the chairman of the IEC? It's from us. It's us. In the case of the Gambia. You go to any other country, it's from us, the people.
That's true.
The people that this government, you'd say the government connives it, for example. If you say elections are not free and fair, the people that surrounds the government or the president or the leadership of the government are from us, the people.
Us, the people.
It's the same people. They are brothers, they are sisters, they are uncles, our aunties, and everything. These are the people knowing fully well that they benefit. And that's why I said conscious citizenry. Nkrumah is talking about what? The need for us to have a citizen, a new type of citizen who abhors greed and detests vanity. A new type of citizen whose humility is their strength and whose integrity is their greatness. It's about what the key word here is integrity. But if people don't have integrity, if people can easily sell their souls, if people can look at you in the eye and sit on the television and defend what cannot be defended, if people can go and come and tell you that Fatou Toure, this government is corrupt, but it's better we are still going to vote for them. Because they are giving us roads, because they are giving us... That's the politics of infrastructure that is happening in Africa. So we are the people that are doing that. That's number one. Secondly, if you tell me that in Gambia or Guinea or somewhere else, well, you know, there's still elections, what can people do? We have seen in Senegal, when Abdoulaye Wade wanted to bring his son, what is the name again? Karim. The people stood up and said it's not going to happen. When Macky Sall wanted to go for another term, people stood up and said it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But what is happening in other countries? What are people doing? So I am telling you, the people have the opportunity to change governments peacefully through the ballot. But we refuse to do that. We choose to stay with the same governments. At the end of the day, we said, no, we don't have a choice. The only option, the only solution is for the military to intervene. So that's why, for me, I'm not a fan of military intervention. If we want to change government,
we should go
let us go to the polls.
I am not a fan of military interventions too, because I don't think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, because they're not changing anything for me.
But sometimes we all get frustrated and we make excuses for it. But to be honest, it is not the right way to do things. But coming to Gambia, when the president was coming, obviously in 2016, the agenda was a 3 years agenda. Going to be a transitional government. Obviously, we have gone past that. He's done his first term 5 years ago. He was elected as an executive president. And then, obviously, he secured a second term for another 5 years. The president said he's going to run for a third term. And the opposition and some of us, civil society and the media, including myself, a lot of us are advocating for no. We don't want any president to go beyond 2 terms because of from our experience. But the truth is, our constitution allows him to run. Now, what is your opinion on the argument that President Barrow should choose from someone else, but he should not run? But he has the right to do it.
He has the right. He has the right to go, and that is what makes this conversation a bit tricky. Yeah. Because the president has the right constitutionally to go legally to go for a third term. I mean, I'm a fan of term limit. Yeah. For the sake of accountability. Yeah. And I think I've mentioned that they go hand in hand, right? Yeah. A term limit ensures that there is accountability. When there's term limit and there are proper accountability provisions or mechanisms in the constitution and other laws of the country, then it's good for a democracy. And I am a fan of term limit. I would have loved for the president not to go for the third term. If he can choose somebody from his party or even outside his party, probably he has somebody that he that you trust more, to run. But as you said, he has the constitutional right, backing to say, I am going for the third term. And what do we do about that? Now the question of, just like the 3 years, 5 years, question of
morality and legality,
right? So, and I think here, the role of political parties and civil society comes in. Where we need conversations around term limit. Not only to say that we must have it in our constitution, but to even engage in conversations where we can bring this argument of, look, it's going to be good for our democracy if Mr. President can give chance to somebody else and not to run for a third term. Not in any, confrontational way, because as we said, he has the constitutional backing. What are you going to do to him? Yeah. You can't do anything to him.
But then, you see, I had my Fatou here, who is part of the Grand Alliance to re-elect the GMC, are part of the NPP Alliance to re-elect President Barrow for the third term. And my argument, I mean, is sometimes is somehow justifiable. His argument is number one, just like you and me agreed, there's no constitutional restriction for the president. But number two, we have to look at our political structures itself. He said there is no political party in this country who has internal term limits in their internal political structures, number one. And parties or oppositions are governments in waiting. And he said all political parties have not changed their leadership since inception. It's the same leaders who are running for presidency every year in, year out, but they still want to run, but they're telling the president he should not run. When he brought that argument, even though that is different from the state, but this is an argument that is difficult to defend. And I think I had that when Kemo Bojang was in UDP and Sekou Mbalo was here. I had that argument when Barrow said he was going to run. I was going crazy on Sekou Mbalo, and Sekou Mbalo just turned to Kemo and said, but you cannot say that your party leader has been running all these years. And at some point I was like, I think we are the only one who can justify this. Maybe political parties cannot say it, but their argument is we are political parties, we are not a government.
So my GMC was established in 2009.
Mine has been the leader.
Mine has been the leader for 16 years.
He said he included, he himself included. He said all of them, all political parties.
So who does he blame now? He is blame as well?
Himself, all the other political parties.
Then I think somebody else will bring that argument.
And this is why I said,
yeah.
I said this here, and I remember when I said it, some UDP guys came after me, but I said, look, I told Kemo at that point, you guys you don't have the justification to have this argument. Though since inception, Halifa Sallah and Sidi has been alternating as party leader.
Halifa only contested once on the DOI.
Only once?
Yeah.
The other one was on the NAT, right?
So if you look at the history of
Halifa only once on the DOI?
Only once.
Oh yeah?
So if you look at the history of...
But he has been the leader since.
So they have the Secretary General, but I mean, people misunderstood this. Many times they think Halifa has been running on the DOI. So
but not only once. He ran in 2021.
Yes.
Before that, when he didn't run before?
No.
Are you kidding me?
He came in 86.
86, yeah.
87, they did not contest presidential elections.
Okay.
Because Gambia had we started direct presidential elections in 1982. Voting for the president directly.
Okay.
So in 87, DOI did not contest.
Okay.
92, Sidia was the candidate for DOI.
Okay.
96, Sidia was the candidate. 2001, Sidia was the candidate. 2006, Halifa contested on the NAD. You remember when NAD disintegrated?
Yes.
2006.
Okay.
So 2011...
Charles, Sire, what is wrong with our internet? Go ahead.
2011, DOI formed an alliance with NRP. It was called the United Front. So Hamad Ba was the leader, was the one who contested, led the United Front.
Okay.
2016, Barrow came. 2021, Halifa contested.
So Halifa only contested twice as a candidate.
As a candidate,
but only once
on the DOI.
On the DOI.
And the other one was not.
Wow.
So yeah, but I mean, still, it's about leadership
as
well. These leaderships have not changed from DOI to UDP to all other political parties. It has not changed.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, so for me, the issue of term limit, I will not even compare. Even though yes, we can say that, as I always say, charity begins at home. We can argue that it is important for some of these political parties to have internal democracy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The structures will allow for leadership transitions or changes, so that we can see democracy really at work. And I've said this. I remember when we had show with Alaji Dabo here.
Yeah.
This was 2 years ago when I last appeared here. So he was like, sometimes when they go to Congress as a party, they create room for negotiations when two people contest for a position or are interested in a position. I said, that is not democracy. You don't do that. Allow people to contest when they want to.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, we have these problems, internal, party democracy. But I wouldn't compare that at the national level. So the charity begins at home. It could start from there, so that we know that yes, when you get to the national level, you might, you will respect term limit, and you will think of leaving office one day.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't compare that to what happens at the national level. When the president is going for a third term or a fourth term, I wouldn't compare that to a political party leader who is choosing by the party to say
to
lead
contest.
us
Okay.
to contest in an election, right? So because the president is different from those opposition party leaders, the president is managing the affairs of the country. The president is the face of our democracy. When our democracy crumbles, we point fingers at the president because you are the helm of affairs. When our democracy succeeds, today the president takes, he brags about this, our democracy.
Yeah.
That, Gambia has made significant progress in our democratic governance and all that because he is president and he's taking credit for that, even though I give that credit to Gambians. So how about if there is a problem with our democracy? If our democracy crumbles, we need to point fingers at him as well.
Yeah.
So for me, you cannot compare what happens at the national level. You cannot compare term limit at the national level to political parties. I mean, term limit within political parties. Yes, I agree that they need to have those structures to ensure that there's transition in leadership because, you see, it creates tensions.
Yeah.
And this is what is happening to the UDP.
Yeah.
If you look at even the rupture, the UDP and Barrow, it's also about leadership.
Yes, it was.
Generally. If you look at the division currently, with Talib, it's also about leadership. So it's important, it's time that political parties try to also look into that internally. But that should not be an excuse for anyone to say, well, the president can also go for a third term because political parties themselves do not have that. Now, how about the ruling party itself, the NPP itself? Do they have those mechanisms as well? So, if you're talking about others, try to make that arrangements within. You cannot tell us that all of us are included and then, try to blame people, defending the president.
Because now he is in the...
Yeah, so I have a problem with that. So the issue of time limit, I think, is really good for our democracy. Because Gambia, we have transitioned and we are making progress. Yes, a lot of challenges, but at least we're making progress. Having the political space being liberalized, a lot of even though I have my issue with the proliferation of political parties as well, but at some point we're making progress in that aspect. People can create political parties, people can speak their mind, to the greater extent. So what we are trying to move towards is consolidation. And for consolidation to happen, we must have credible opposition political parties. What do we mean by credible opposition political parties? Opposition parties that would really pose threat or serious challenge to the government. Not necessarily having everybody jumping just one morning and say, I'm setting up a political party, when you can't even have a bureau. You see political parties with only probably 15 people. I've seen, by the way, one Badi Bunka who set up a political party and attracted only 10 people. Well, you remember, we invited him here once. but yeah, so my point is, for our democracy to be consolidated, it is not only about term limit. We need, you see, when you have credible opposition parties, they put pressure on the government. Even the issue of term limit, the president should not go for a term limit. When you have serious opposition parties, the pressure is mounted on the president. Civil society, robust civil society. Just today, somebody was telling me the issue of term limit, nobody is even talking about it in the Gambia right now. I said, yes, because for us, we reduce the conversation to a legal conversation. We think it is only a legal conversation.
No, it should be a moral issue.
It should be a moral issue.
At this point,
But also, it should occupy center stage in our democratic conversations.
And the reason why I tell people we should be talking about term limit, whenever we talk about term limits, you see the incumbent shaking. You see the NPP shaking. It's doing something because they don't want that pressure to get to the international level. The government doesn't want that because they know it's going to give a different look outside there. ECOWAS doesn't want any of its members to go through certain pressures. They know these pressures bring a different dynamics into the politics, and they don't want that. So this is why the opposition and civil society should be speaking about term limits.
So that's why, just Mario was telling me again, he said, well, if you cannot stop him because he's constitutionally, he can go for a third term. Legally, right? If you cannot stop him
but just talk about
from going, go to the polls and stop him.
That's true.
He said that's another option of stopping him from going for a third term.
That is true.
That is at the polls. So if really, as I said, we cannot have a confrontation with the president on this because legally he is mandated to go for a third term. What can you do about it?
Nothing.
You cannot do anything about it. But if Gambians really are concerned about the state of affairs of the country, if they really believe that, strongly believe that, this government is not doing the right thing. If they strongly believe that this government needs to go, let them go at the polls.
Yeah.
That's a legal way, non-confrontational way of saying to the president,
we don't want
we don't want you to go for a part time.
That's true.
But if that is not happening, you see, at some point, we have to give responsibility to people where it is due.
Where it's due. So it's our responsibility.
It's the responsibility of the people. You cannot say, okay, yes, Fatou can be the voice of the voiceless. Mahdi can be the voice of the voiceless. But you cannot put that pressure on Mahdi and Fatou and Ousainou Darboe and Halifa Sallah and say, go and put pressure on the president to say don't go for the third term. When you have your vote.
Yeah.
They might not be able to succeed with the president because legally he got the backing.
But you can.
But you have your votes. Your vote is your power.
Yeah.
You can do that. But you are putting unnecessary pressure and blame on Halifa Sallah and Lawyer Darboe and Mama Kande and Fatou Toure and Mahdi Jobate that you are not speaking. You know, you should be talking about this. You the opposition, you the civil society. When you as a voter, what do you do with that? And when I said you the voter,
it's all of us.
It's all of us. So, as I said at the beginning, if people are telling us that this government is not the right one to take this government to this country to the promised land, but yet you are voting for the same government, and you come back to put the blame on people that they are not doing what they're supposed to do. What are you doing as a citizen, to make sure that you change what is happening?
So, what is your perspective? Looking from afar, how are you looking at this government right now? From the reports. From reforms that were promised, like civil service reforms, security sector reforms, to we now have an anti-corruption commission. You know, what is your perspective? How do you look at this government?
So I think a lot is happening in this country.
Yeah.
And if you look at the issue of corruption, as I started, you know, you create the institution, and the box will be ticked because the international community is like, Gambia has created an anti-corruption commission.
Yeah.
An anti-corruption law is coming and all that. So those things are there and the boxes are ticked. But in reality, what is happening on the ground? We've seen, of course, the Auditor General being removed. Yeah. That's a matter in court. We might not be able to go in details into that. I know this is a Gambian attitude, because I know in other parts of the world people
can speak about legal cases. But I don't know why you cannot talk in the case. You
know, you don't talk about the matter when it is in court. I don't know. Maybe our legal luminaries need to guide us.
We need to look at that, because in countries that's when I don't even know.
But they said we should not talk. I remember the other time the Chief Justice even, I think, issued a statement.
It was the bar. I think it was the
bar. Something like that. Issued a statement regarding that. So it's a matter in court. But the Auditor General is being removed. There are allegations, according to him. According to what he said,
the president told
him that don't release this report because they are going to be bad for me electorally or politically. So you also look at the audit findings that have been coming. Although, I mean, defenders of government will tell us that 1 or 2 or 3 people have been prosecuted, have been taken to court. But there are serious damning allegations on contracts, projects that I think should be looked into. Those are the most important things for me. Not a permanent secretary that is alleged of pocketing $50,000 here. Not an official at the Ministry of Health or somewhere talking about 10 million. Yes, it's a huge amount of money. Yes,
but
it should be the but. We have bigger issues that are being raised. Even the airport security report thing. You know, that's being raised. I mean, at some point when I was coming, I said I was not going to pay, but
your passport would have been taken.
Your passport would be taken. So. But those are issues that are being raised, you know, by audit findings. And I think those are the issues that the government should work on. And I've always said that the difference between the previous government, the Jammeh government, and the Barrow government, when it comes to corruption, is just a matter of centralization and decentralization. One is centralized, the other one is decentralized, right? So those are issues. I mean, and if you look at what we call in voting behavior, like political behavior, we have this issue of voting. Today, if Gambians really vote based on issue, it should be the issue of corruption, the economic situation of the country. These are the issues that people should vote on. But you see, that's not the focus of many or average voters in the country. Now, Today, I've always said that Gambia, what is happening right now, if you look at our country, well, economically, they will tell us that our economy is growing, you know, based on figures and all that.
Yeah.
But economic development is an issue.
It's an issue.
Now, what the government does also in terms of politics of infrastructure is to build roads, make sure that people get access to roads and all that. If you go to Kiam today, my own community, my own village, we've never had roads. You bring road to those people,
and they bring
like
okay.
You bring electricity to them. They're like, the other time I saw a video in Fonyi somewhere, people were celebrating.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what the government also does, and that's not only the Gambia government.
Yeah.
That's governments across Africa. They survive on politics of infrastructure. They know very well that today, if I bring road and electricity to Fatou, Fatou will not be complaining about food prices and all that.
Yeah.
So they can take loans, build roads. It's just like today, if you receive your salary, okay, before you receive your salary, you don't roke. You buy nice clothes, nice outfits, nice food and all that. Ninkaro Fata, your salary will go into what? Paying those debts. Now what happens? Inyanta money bodo sana, you can't buy.
It doesn't know.
Inyanta idingol sasata, you want to take them to hospital, you can't pay for it. So what African governments most of the time do, I know Gambia, you know, some of our road projects are internally funded, they're taxpayers' money, but obviously you must have some of them that loans were taken.
Yeah.
Now, what they do is that they can take loan. African governments can take loan, build roads, right? Knowing fully well that will bring them political capital. Now, when they build roads, at the end of the day, NIM budget nata for the year, how many percent of the budget, the greater chunk of it goes into what debt
servicing. Yeah.
And when that happens, critical sectors of development are ignored. Health is ignored. Agriculture is ignored. So you go to Kian today and say, people of Tankulara, it takes you 1 hour or 2 to reach there. But now with road, you can reach there 15 minutes. Now, for me, Nindabe Tankulara, Mba Prifala, Ninga late kafuta nga delay silo kan ba nim futa ta kene ba loptano to al half better nga boroso to nga jara lo sota nyama dan nga drive fat 15 minutes nga futa kene ba loptano to no paracetamol fa jande wala ay nyanta jara la menna masingolo mansoro fenkolo mansoro all that wala kurango mansoro so that's what is happening. But you see, they understand the psyche of an average African voter. You may understand wolem ko nyulu all that they need is silo and ninkurango.
Yeah.
Yes, they are important. Today, yamang abalafa water, but in other parts of the world, people are not even talking about this. These things have been fixed 50 years ago or a century ago.
Yeah.
So nobody talk about electricity as an issue. You know, sometimes you live in the other parts, you live in the West. I mean, it becomes strange to you. I mean, it becomes something strange. But these are not issues that serious countries are talking about. Those people are centuries ahead. But until this we see as a favor, because it is the responsibility of the government to provide some of these things. And I tell people, mansakunda la responsibility. Nka favor la Kenya. You see people standing on political platforms and begging the president, help us with this, help us with this in this 21st century. And sometimes, you know, what baffles me more is when people try to point out these issues, the problems that we deal with as a country. Some will tell us that you only criticize, but you don't provide solutions.
Yeah.
Now, Fatou, it is not my responsibility to provide solutions.
Because you're not the government.
I'm not. You see, Momodou Hydara and Bangkoka. I, as a teacher, the responsibility is to go to the classroom and teach.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Your job as a journalist is to come and perform your duties here. The president's job is to fix the country because the minister, all those people. So if you appoint a minister of agriculture, for example, or minister of health or education, now there's problem in the education sector, and then I point out to say, oh, there is a problem here. I'm not paid to do that.
That's true.
The job of the minister is to fix the problem. If I do it pro bono, it's fine. If I come with a solution and say, but it's not mandatory on me because I'm not being paid to do that job.
That's true.
It is the minister, the permanent secretary, the director who are paid to do that job. But these are conventional. So you look at the economic situation of the country. Literally, everyone has become a beggar in this country.
Yep.
In one way or the other. And Fatou, there is something that is really happening in this country. It's so alarming. We need to check. Our checkpoints have been turned into begging points. Our police checkpoints. This is a serious issue. And it's not a secret. I think it's in the open. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
You know, you can photo the first thing sometimes you can traffic from a block. You can be they are doing their job. In actual sense, they start a conversation, chatting, chit chat, before you realize it at Asongoli. I mean, you see, this is an attitudinal issue, and we really need to work on it because of the economic situation. I'm not saying it's an excuse.
Yeah, but
because I always tell people, it is not an excuse for a police officer to say, because my salary is small, that's why I have to beg on the road. That's not an excuse, even though the economic situation is bad, but it's not an excuse. Morally, if you look at it, among the respect for you wear state uniform, it's not. It's not a good representation of the state. But again, let's go back to the economic situation. The average earning of an average Gambia.
Yeah.
Sort of as salary in this country. Yeah. And everybody is saying that. Somebody is working, receiving $6,000, $5,000, $4,000 as salary.
Yeah.
Nimba udoku sivala is better ngabula ngata nka libere si ake from by day.
I'm
not belittling the dough. I'm not belittling the job.
But it's the economic situation of the country.
But that's what I'm saying. Come in for this. I'm getting back to that point.
Yeah.
To say you look at the economic situation right now. Where are we heading to as a country? When people can sit down and justify the spending of over $50 million on a tour. You see, this tour issue, I think really we need serious conversation around it. And I think the government should just do us a favor.
Yeah.
Well, whether it should be a favor or do us good and try to look into this tour again. Because I know very well that what the idea the drafters had in mind was to make sure that the president is in contact with the people.
Yeah.
At least, I think twice a year or once, whatever the Constitution provision said.
Yeah.
But it's not for the president to organize. I know sometimes, politicians, it all can as an opportunity to do it. But it's not for the president to embark on partisan politics. It's not for the president to do that.
Yeah.
So what you can do, for me, the president does not even need to spend $3 million on a tour.
Yeah.
Because you go with your technocrats and technicians. These are few people that you can go with. You reach at Kerawan, people, you just want to interact with people and see some of the... And then again, when they tell us that the president needs to know these problems firsthand. Yeah. Okay, what is firsthand? So this is the thing. But you've appointed ministers, you've appointed directors, you've appointed permanent secretaries. Many are there in these different sectors. Agriculture sector problem, I don't think the president will tell us, but you know some of the basic problems, because you have a minister, you have permanent secretary, you have directors. If you look at the health sector, the same thing. You go to other sectors, so for me, going to a tour should not even cost the state $3 million or $5 million to go around the country. You are not having meetings everywhere. Yeah. But at some point, and sometimes someone was telling me that, when is this going to stop in this country? I'm like, because when the Ajame was doing this, during his time, people complain about it. Yeah. I told in the political platform and all that.
But I made Ajame was not spending what is spending now.
Exactly. So, but change of government, you see, because you have asked a question about the reforms. Yeah. Where our failure started was post-Jame, the immediate post-Jame. Yeah. You see, most of these laws, you've talked about security sector reform. Yeah. Today, it is a shame that Gambians are talking about this, how do you call it? What is this law again? This law that they use, that they weaponize. Public
Order Act, yeah.
2017, these things should have been dealt with right there. Even though some argue in some corner school, they were waiting for a whole constitutional reform, whatever, to take care of this. But no. Solo Sanden died because of this.
That was the catalyst of this change.
That was the catalyst. So especially the people that were with Solo in the same political grouping, the same thing, they were in the same struggle, when they had the opportunity to be in parliament.
Yeah, they had the numbers.
Those are the people who should have been the voice of the voiceless regarding that Public Order Act to remove that.
And they had the numbers.
But it's a shame that in Mfutatani State, we're still talking about that.
Yeah.
The attitude of our security forces, what is happening with the security sector reform. The other time I watched the National Security Advisor. I think it was on QTV. Aliu Sisa asked the question of security sector reform. What is the stage of SSR? Because people are seeing the police brutalizing citizens. What are we doing about that? And the response was that, yeah, sometimes operations, you can go for operations and on the ground, the plan changes. And sometimes this happens by mistakes and all that. I'm like, no, you cannot call these things. These are very basic. Somebody who is unarmed and is not even resisting arrest. Yeah. There's nothing difficult. Simply arrest the person and take the person to the right place. But you come and you have to beat the person up, throw the person in, you know. Sometimes the way they push them, I'm like, do they find joy in some of these things? But that's a systemic failure because our reform has not gone anywhere. You know what we have succeeded in the reform? We have succeeded in creating the right policy frameworks. The documents are there. You talk about the National Security Strategic Document and other reform documents. I mean, at some point I was working with some institutions on this, and I know that these documents were prepared way like 2018, 19, some of these things were done. And even the legal framework, recently, I think they have, I'm not sure whether they have passed it finally, but the National Security Bill, I think finally it was a parliament. I don't know. I think they have passed it. It should be, but the presidents will assented to it and whatever. So we've registered success in that area. Yeah. But in terms of implementing these frameworks, that's the right word, educating our police officers to inculcate that spirit of professionalism, that sense of professionalism, and also instilling those democratic values and standards in them. But also, more importantly, subjecting them to civilian control, management, and accountability. This is the basis for security sector reform. But if we're talking about 9 years, 9 years into the Barrow presidency, we're still struggling with basic issues like arrest. Yeah. And you still tell us that, oh, we are still working on those things. That is so basic. You don't take excuse for that. So these are issues the government needs to talk about. But I'm saying, 2017, was where some of these problems started. You see, even though, yes, Barrow had gone beyond 3 years, but you know, if the government had really seen itself in 2017 as a transitional government, they would have prioritized all these things. Security sector reform. We could have had a national security bill that would legally operationalize the Office of National Security. Yeah. We could have had that Public Order Act being changed just as we had the age limit being changed in the Constitution. Yeah. Because you did not say, okay, let's wait for the new constitution so that we change the age limit for the vice president. And have a new vice president. Right? No. So we could have also, even this civil service reform, Gambia used to boast of having the best civil service in the sub-region. But not anymore. Yeah. Even foreign service reform. I mean, what has changed in the civil service from 2017 to now is the same style, Jammeh style. Political loyalists, you know, people that are, so it has been turned into the political compensation ground, where people that have failed politically and also people that have been removed from office are the ones that are being sent into this, which is also, you know, bringing us a lot of embarrassment on the international stage. So I think a lot of work needs to be done around this. But, you know, these are conversations that continue still. Okay.
You have said in this, I think Marnyang told me here that corruption is more widespread under this government than in Jammeh. And a lot of people believe that. Now, we are going into the 2026 presidential election. I think, when do we have December? When do we have election? I think December 5th. December 5th. By this time next year, we will know it. We will have a president. We will know if we are going to have a new president or we're going to have a continuation of the current regime. We are getting into the political season. A lot of people, a lot of Gambians are asking for a coalition. People believe that this government is not in the right direction. There have been a lot of corruption allegations. We have seen the other reports. No reforms, meaningful reforms have been done. A lot of people believe we're backsliding instead of moving forward. And you have seen a lot of calls for a coalition. And that's where the problem is. A lot of people believe it will be difficult to have something like that. Do you believe it will be difficult to single-handedly remove this incumbent without a coalition?
So still, let me just touch on this, the issue of corruption here, before moving to this. So what this government has done, initially when they came up with the idea of this local government commission,
Yes.
I was with the belief that it was a political target, right?
Yeah.
Politically calculated.
Yes.
And I believe at the time that, look, what was the essence of it? But on the other hand, too, it has revealed a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of issues, a lot of things happen in these councils.
Yeah.
It's good that we're able to know these things.
Yeah.
But don't stop there. I was saying, in fact, start with the top.
Yeah.
But now that you are saying it's probably bottom top, one can argue.
Yeah.
Starting with bottom, but go to the top.
Yeah.
A lot of things have been revealed. And even though I was not keenly following the commissions, but I think when there are some damning allegations or revelations out there, I do follow them, through stories from Kerr Fatou and all that. But then at the central government level, these audit findings are out. Go after the institutions and the individuals that have been alleged to have been involved in some of these scandals.
Yeah.
But obviously, for political reasons, we know the government will not do that, which is rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
The issue of coalition, you see, Gambians are not also new to coalition politics.
Yeah.
If you go to countries like Kenya, their politics is all about coalition politics. If you know how this man was the late Raila Odinga,
Right. Yes.
where he has switched political parties.
Oh my God.
Yeah, even the current president. So they've been series of coalition politics in Kenya.
Yeah.
From one alliance or coalition to the other.
To the other.
But Gambians are new to that, and for the first time.
Yeah.
In the history of this country, we're able to remove a government through a coalition, through the ballot, but also through a coalition.
Yeah.
So at some point, people expressed shock and disappointment. They were amazed why we had the coalition crumble. I said, but these are bound to happen.
Yeah.
See, coalition politics is about marriage of convenience.
Convenience. Yeah.
When they happen, because the thing is, they have one goal, one mission, to remove the government in power. But actually, they might have different strategies as to how to run the state.
Yeah.
So when that happens, failure is bound to happen in coalition politics. So many a times, they don't end up well. And that is why the drafters of the MOU 2016 coalition, they had this in mind.
Yeah.
They knew that it was not going to last, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's why they were like, let it be a transition government. For 3 years.
And everybody has a fair...
Organize election, everybody go on your way.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was not going to last.
Yeah.
Look, even Maki's Boko Yakar,
Yeah.
I think that's the name, right? At some point, they had issues.
Yes.
Even this current government in Senegal, they had issues.
Yeah.
So coalition politics, so Gambians must also look into this. Are we looking for a coalition just to remove the government? What happens next?
What happens next?
So I'm not saying that there should not be any coalition. If Gambian opposition are really serious about removing this government, they should look into that.
But there should be an agenda.
There should be an agenda.
We cannot do the same thing.
Yeah, there should be an agenda. You don't blindly go into that, just into coalition, for the sake of removing the incumbent.
Yeah.
And then replace it with what?
With what?
Yes, I understand that some people are frustrated and they feel like the government needs to go.
But the thing is it that bad? Because in Jame, because there were a lot of human rights abuses and all that stuff. But
now people are also concerned about corruption, Fatou.
That's true.
Economic, stagnation. People are concerned about it. And they have very genuine reason to say, we believe that this government should go. But I am saying, because if you look at the political landscape right now, for example, I just saw a story where the former campaign manager of the UDP said,
yeah, Karafa.
Yes, they are not ruling out the possibility of a coalition with UDP, but only on the condition that a winnable candidate.
Who's that?
I don't know who's the winnable candidate.
That one will be tough.
I think I saw that on Buba's page, whatever. So on TikTok. So, but the thing is, this is a party. I think that is now a party, right?
Not fully registered yet. They are at the IEC.
Yeah, but you've just divorced with the UDP.
Yeah.
Just recently.
Yeah.
And I've listened to some of them. Some of them said, like Karafa, for example, I saw one of his interviews in Africa where he said, it's ideological difference with the UDP, that's why they split it. But I'm like, wait a minute, you have been in UDP since 96.
Yeah.
When did that ideological difference come about? When?
Yeah.
And again, what is the UDP's ideology and what is the UMC's ideology? Because for now, I've not had any ideology being sold by the UMC.
Yeah.
So if you leave the UDP because, I mean, some of them are saying that they can have coalition with anyone.
Yeah.
But if you leave the UDP because you believe that Ousainou Darboe should not be the candidate, how about if you go into a coalition with the UDP and Ousainou Darboe happens to emerge
as the candidate
for that coalition?
Absolutely.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Why the need to leave the UDP?
Why the need?
And for me, if you leave the UDP because you want Talib to be the candidate, why should you go to back another person or another party or coalition where Talib is not leading? Because the essence of leaving, look, they might not tell us that, but most of them, that's the reality. And I'm not necessarily saying that what they did is bad and all that. I'm just analyzing.
Yeah.
If you leave the UDP because you believe that Talib should lead, and now you come into the coalition or, you know, having an arrangement or alliance or whatever, where Talib is not leading, especially with them, what is the point of leaving then?
Yeah.
So you should have stayed. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, even the UMC, even though the question is not around that, but the UMC UDP divorce, if you look at it also, technically, I've said this, I mean, when I had interviews with Kerr Fatou, I said, look, Mr. Darboe has been presented to Gambians 5 times. Yeah, and he was rejected. I received a lot of insults.
You took a lot of heat from that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the reality is, whether you agree or not, based on the results presented to us from the competent authorities,
as
that
the
is the IEC, Mr. Darboe had lost all the 5 elections that he had contested, right?
Yeah.
So if you tell us that Mr. Darboe should not lead, and people that are in the UDP following Mr. Darboe are just following Mr. Darboe and not the party. Now, if Talib said he's quitting, I respect Talib's decision to quit that position, because you know why? When I said it, you know, it was not famous. Some people said no, but some people, even some UDP people came and said, no, you are right. I said, look, when Talib withdrew this application, there was no trust again between him and Mr.
Darboe, yes.
And in an organization, even in a relationship, if there is no trust,
that cannot work.
It cannot work. So these people cannot work together.
Yeah.
And Talib's decision to quit that position was the right decision.
Was justifiable, yes.
Was justifiable. But the people that said we are leaving because Talib is not, now you're accusing those people of only seeing Mr. Darboe and not the UDP. Then you are also seeing Talib and not the UDP. You get the point?
Yeah.
So for me, tell me that I have reason XYZ.
Yeah.
Because I think the party needs to be reformed.
Yeah.
Needs to change in terms of leadership. Well, that could be somebody else. We need new ideas. New
but most of them, though, their resignation letters, you know, that's what they put there. You know, we believe is inclusiveness, blah blah blah. They didn't cite. We know it was because of this, but in the resignation letters they cite.
They will not say that. They will not say it's because
they cite other things. Yes.
Lead and all that. So what I'm trying to say is that you know, our politics has got to the point where sometimes I sit and ask myself, okay, people say politics is about interest.
Nah.
See, when you look at the word politics itself, it's about the people. You see, politics is not about my personal interest.
Yeah.
And people tell us that political mudunia called. Political alkiyama called. Ibula fonga for the alkiyama. Some people will be really disappointed and shocked.
You will be accountable for.
But they are the people that tell us that mansa ibe nyinin kalale maralo. And you're telling me that politics is about dunia ku. No, that's not it. But you see, because of these narratives, this mindset, walatina. We believe that politicians can come and do anything. They go like, Ibulaje, just politician or lamuti. It's about their interest. No.
No.
You know, for me, public service, going into politics, because politics is beyond party politics, or partisan say. Politics is about what happens in every corner of human existence.
Yeah.
So if you're going into politics, you must be ready to serve the people. I recently saw this National Assembly bill, whatever. Some parliamentarians said, I think 1 or 2 said, we are against this bill.
Yeah.
Now, I said to someone, say, what are they doing now? Said, near pass the battle. I said, no, you should not take it. See, if you believe in what you believe in, when Doi people said they did not support the idea of those 53 vehicles, they did not take it.
Yeah.
I'm in a
No.
So if you don't believe salary as a parliamentarian with principles, stand on that. After don't add it to my salary. Nobody will add it. Or if they are insisting, create a special account, or you give it out, but not for you to take. But again, that's why in Kafuku, if you look at our politics, sometimes if you blame the incumbent, you blame back. But we can pause there.
You can pause there.
And reflect again.
Yeah.
What are the opposition MPs doing?
At this point, that's where I am.
But yeah.
I have taken a back seat when it comes to...
They have an opportunity
to
even hold these ruling government, these ruling MPs in parliament to say, opportunities, they have an opportunity, a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
But they wine and dine with them where their interest lies. At the end of the day, they just look at them and say, look at you. What are you doing? You're saying that this government is wasting money, but actually what are you doing to ensure that you hold this government to account when it comes to that wastage? So the opposition MPs are not very different from the ruling MPs. When we talk about Motol, they took them. When you talk about salary increment, they're interested. But where we're talking about diaspora voting, non-diaspora voting, now they will come, they are the servant of the people. There should be diaspora voting. We are standing for you, the diaspora. The ruling party doesn't want this because they also have a political interest. You're saying that the president is not popular in the diaspora.
He wouldn't want them to vote.
He wouldn't win there, so he wouldn't want them to vote. So you see that as in your interest, as a political interest. So that's why you're going in for that. So you see the difference between the opposition MPs and ruling MPs. It's difficult. It's pathetic though. Me and Uncle, you could say, probably we could rely on these opposition MPs. But these are the people that are also whining and dining. So at some difference, so you get confused.
I sit here, I can say anything about the government and I get applauded for it. Criticize the government, hold them accountable, say all of these things. And even though in government circles, they look at me as unethical, I'm a journalist, I'm not supposed to have an opinion. But they're forgetting I'm also a Gambian. But when you have those same opinion about the opposition, it becomes a problem. But you can say it about the government, but you cannot hold them accountable. It becomes a bigger problem when you hold them accountable. But they want to be in government. They are governments in waiting. So our politics is so crazy at this point. It's difficult. And that is the truth. So at some point when you look at it, you're like, okay,
So what you see, there are different levels of accountability. And the way we hold government to account
is different.
It's different from the way we hold opposition to account. And that does not mean that we cannot hold the opposition
and to account. That is why I say this all the time, Essa. When I tell people the reason why people think I'm an opposition is because I am harder. When I have a government official here, my interviews are more tense because they are the ones, they're accountable for our taxes. A minister of infrastructure, a minister of information, a minister of this, or the president, they have budgets, millions and billions of taxpayer money that they're overseeing. I am going to be more critical of them than when I have an opposition here. When I have an opposition, I just want to know, how do you plan to govern? Your record of what you have done, how can I trust that you're going to do this and this and this? And be critical of you when I see other things. It's different. It's a different level of accountability. So as a civil society, as a journalist, people brand you as an opposition because you're more critical of the incumbent, right? But that doesn't mean you cannot hold the opposition accountable. In Gambia, once you are critical of government, you become the darling of the opposition. But the moment you say something different about them, it becomes a problem.
Some people say, Essa Njie
just because of one single comment that you have made against the opposition, you become an enemy, a hater. But you have made thousands of comments about the government and people applaud you. And that says a lot about that. It says a lot about if those people are in government, what they will do. And it makes me scared now that I don't even want to partake in any political thing.
So I remember, so like the issue of accountability. What the way we hold government to account is going to be different from the way we hold opposition to account.
That's true.
Because we pay our tax to government, we entrust them with the affairs of the state. So when we hold them to account, obviously it's going to be issues on how the country is being managed. But look, we also have a say in how those political parties are run. Now, somebody will tell us that, you cannot decide who we choose as our standard bearer.
That's true.
Now,
it is them.
It is you
that can choose that.
We don't choose, but we can also say, we have the right to say, well, give us this person. We have the right to say, well, we think this person cannot win.
Yeah, but they'll tell you, if you want that, you have to join them.
But the thing is, if you're forgetting that you are coming back to us again. If you choose A, telling us that we are not going to choose B, we must go with A. But forgetting that you are coming back to us, the Gambians, to seek for our votes.
Yeah, that's
Then if you tell us that we don't need your opinion on this, then don't need my vote as well. So the way you run your party internally and all that, we're going to hold you to account. So you talk about the issue of attacks and all that when they brand you. Sometimes they brand you as opposition, sometimes they brand you as sometimes they're like so the thing is, I've seen comments. I've seen even a comment. I will not specifically mention the name, but I've seen a comment where I think Barrow said Talib should be held accountable, and somebody said no, Barrow should be questioned. Barrow should be questioned by the police.
By the police.
So my point is, I'm like, okay, fine. Barrow is not my cup of tea, but I'm going to find wrong. Now, I am saying, you are saying this. How about if Talib becomes president and Essa said we should hold Talib to account? Then you're going to call for my arrest then? You
automatically call for the question.
These
are serious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are in opposition, they trivialize these things.
Yeah.
But it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
It sends a very bad signal.
It does.
If I am here, I said my only crime is to say Mr. Dabo has lost election 5 times. You come after me, you attack me and all that.
For them.
Yeah, people, I mean, it's normal for you to have a different opinion with me.
And it's okay.
It's okay. Have a different, this is my opinion. But you know, we must encourage those healthy conversations in our politics. But sometimes they attack, and I always tell people, I'm not bothered by this. By the way, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't see those things.
You are not on Facebook. And again, we are not bothered about these things. I mean, how many years now?
I said, so you are a journalist, but a citizen before becoming
I'm a Gambian first.
I'm a Gambian before becoming a... And then people sometimes will say, no, as a lecturer, as an analyst, you should... what do you mean? There's this concept of scholar activism.
Yeah.
Scholar activism. You see, if you listen to some intellectuals, professors, when they analyze politics for you, Father, you'll be surprised that Gambia, we don't even go to that extent.
Yeah.
Because when you go to that, they're like, you are opposition, right? Sometimes you will see people, professors analyzing politics, and they'll tell you that this government needs to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will tell you that.
But even in Gambia, it is only in Gambia they tell journalists you cannot have an opinion. We all watch. Who do we watch?
What is important is when you are doing your job, you should not be seen to be like you are directly, not even about seen.
You should not be manifested that you are
in this particular
party. But you cannot.
But you can have your opinion to say, this government is not doing the right thing. This government is messing up. And Gambians need to do something about it.
Because if the economy is hard, as a Gambian, as a journalist, I pay the same cash power.
We were here in 2016. We have seen journalists and civil society. I was in the coalition center at Paradise when the results were announced. I saw civil society, people from civil society and journalists jubilating, celebrating Yahya Jammeh's defeat. Where was professionalism? So if those people come today and tell us that, no, you should be neutral, where was the neutrality in 2016? If you argue that in 2016, there was need for people to align themselves because the situation was terrible, somebody can also argue today to say that the situation is terrible and people can align themselves. We don't need to be neutral. So at some point we need to do it, but I think it's also about the level of awareness. And again, it goes back to my point of conscious citizenry. Our people are not conscious to that level to understand the role of a citizen. Why the state exists in the first place. And why are you there as a citizen? Why are you a citizen in the first place? I'm not a citizen just to say I'm a Gambian. Just to hold a passport and say I'm a Gambian. That is not, it's beyond that. That's not the essence of me being a citizen. It's about me seeing my country, working for my country, ensuring that we build a better future for the generations to come. That is the essence of citizenship. But so sometimes I get mad and say, in fact, what is there to be proud of being a Gambian? When people tell us that you are not from here, people from Ghana Town, recently, those in Ghana Town have been suffering, going through a lot. You tell us that you are not from here, you're not this, you're not that. I say, what is there to be proud of? Even though, yes, I get mad at that because I'm a Gambian and I'm proud of that. But being Gambian is beyond having the ID card. It's beyond having the passport. It's beyond going to the ballot box to vote on election day.
What new Gambian do we need to have to be able to? Because look, we can go to polls tomorrow and change our president, but if we don't change as a people and be ready to bring meaningful change to our country, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
Because a leader is a reflection of who we are as a people, right? Yes, we can. A lot of us believe this government is not going in the right direction. The economic situation is hard. A lot of corrupt allegations. We have seen other reports. Security, no civil service reform, meaningful reforms, security reforms, all of the things that people fought for us to have change in 2016. Yes, we have seen some improvements in the human rights records and all the stuff, but when it comes to
there's
still challenges there. But a lot of the things that people really want to change for, have not been materialized. But again, if we, just like you said, 9 years ago, Barrow was an opposition. Today he's telling us new opposition, Olu. He's branding them with names during the tour. But another opposition will definitely become a president if we change, right? When people come to power, sometimes I'm thinking, what is going on? Is it not the same person that was telling us all of this? Barrow used to tell us that Nate will take a social media munefo, WhatsApp forum munefo. B, he calls the diaspora bakoton fenyol. He every single day this government have chances, they are going after the social media. Calling us names, saying everything. We don't want this government. We don't want this country. We want to burn. And then after you banko janila social media more, online medias and stuff like that. But it was the same people that you relied on to get elected. And whoever comes into power, until and unless we change as a people and continue to start holding our leaders accountable, we're still going to have the same.
Yeah, it's the same. So you've mentioned something quickly, human rights record. I was shocked. I was shocked to my bone marrow when I watched your show with Yusuf Taylor. I think with
when they came out of mile 2.
Mile 2.
Shit.
But when I
went to sleep that day, I could not sleep.
When I saw the images, the pictures, I think I saw the images of the prison cell. I'm like, at some point I was like, I'm suffocating right now. As if I'm in this situation right now.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you talk about leaders being reflection of society, of ourselves. Look at the people. How can a human being allow your fellow human being
to be kept in that place?
In fact, a Gambian for that matter, to be kept in such terrible, inhumane conditions. How? And now you're talking about building a new correctional facility of $2 billion. I don't know where, $30 million. They're saying, I don't know where that money is coming from. But the human rights record, yes, we have made progress. At least we have made progress.
We have made progress.
We can say that.
We can openly say, at least we're able to have platforms like this.
Exactly.
And say all the things that we feel like they're not good.
Yeah.
That's a big progress.
A lot of serious issues need to be addressed.
Yeah.
The way the police handle people, you come arresting people and they're like, arrest them, beating them up and all that.
Yeah.
It's not the president sitting there saying that. I'm not saying the order is not coming. The order is coming from.
But he didn't tell them to beat us.
But he didn't tell you. So
I'm
saying, what is wrong with our own people? These are your own brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You're beating up. You beat up a young boy, allegedly.
Mandinari until he died.
Until he died. What exactly are we doing? So it is not only about ourselves as a people. And as I said, going back to that point again, if we think the government is bad, what is stopping us from changing the government? What is stopping us? But we come back trying to put blame on some people. But if you look at it, this whole thing, from corruption allegations, the economic situation. For example, you have the finance minister who is justifying, or trying to justify, let me put it that way, why the president needs to, not necessarily needs to spend, but trying to justify the allocation of 50, because of course he goes to parliament and justify all these things, right? But as a finance minister, what is wrong with you sitting the president down and saying, Mr. President, in Seattle, we cannot spend this. In serious countries, if the president say, no, it's in a political thing, you leave.
Not Gambia.
And people will tell us that it is not easy as you think. And they will, you see, this notion of Mansaya Diatale, I have a very big problem with it.
Yeah.
Mansaya Mandia. But because we've built this notion, we've created this notion and this narrative that we peddle that being president is the best thing that can happen to a human. For me, it's slavery.
No. Mansaya Diatale, you have everything free.
Fatou, you see, the thing is,
we are giving you $150,000 to get council.
I think that's the problem.
We are giving you free food. We are giving you free clothing. We are giving you free electricity.
Why do we need to?
We are giving you everything free.
Why do we need to?
Most of the times you're above the law.
No, but that is my point. That is what I have problem with. Because we give all these benefits and then say adiatale.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who make it adiatale. Because we give all these benefits to them. But we don't remind them that they have a bigger task. You see, even Islamically, if you look at Dino Fangla Karola, Hani Imamia is not easy.
Not easy.
Omar bin Khattab, during his time, there was a time when he was passing Suto. He had a woman complaining, okay? And what he did was to go get something without knowing he was the Caliph at the time, because he was concerned about the day of judgment that God will ask him, what did you do with what I entrust you? So, but in our time today, we try to make people believe that you can only drive one car at a time.
Yeah.
You can only sleep on one bed at a time. You can only live in one house, sit in one house at a time. You can only wear one cloth at a time. But
you can eat good food every single day.
No, you see, the thing is...
See, sometimes in my house, sometimes I eat mahal, sometimes I eat chalo, sometimes I don't have meat, I cannot afford meat, so I eat, chicken legs. But Mansaya, I'm telling you, if I want to eat subo, I should be able to afford it. But I cannot.
But that red meat,
see?
That is
no, but I'm telling you, I'm just telling you why it's luxurious.
Wait, what I'm saying is because we've made them believe instead of making them believe you have a huge responsibility.
That's true.
On your soldier. You see, once we make leaders believe that, you have a huge task. You have a responsibility to take this country from point A to point B, a whole country. Then they will take the job seriously. Then they will not even want to stay there for long. But we sit around them, make them kings, make them demigods, and make them believe Mansaya Diatale. For me, I find this life, sometimes, when I have conversation with people, they think I live in a different world. But I don't want to be rich, Fatou. This luxurious lifestyle, this is not what I want. I just want my compound. You live a very happy and comfortable life.
Yeah.
But you see, you build these mansions. Today, look at Yaya Jammeh. How, in Equatorial Guinea, I want to come back. I'm coming back in November, lying every day. I will come back. Because Jammeh is not used to that lifestyle. I don't know if he can fund in a situation it's unbearable. Because this man lived his whole life in this country. Even some of us, we can come to this country anytime. We get depressed. You've lived there.
Yeah.
Depression is real. Home is real. Home is home. And the people get homesick. But that's what happens to him, because fans surround and you will not leave this position for Janding Alabeta. So we make our leaders believe Mansaya Diatale. There is every reason to be in power.
Yeah.
But we don't remind them of their responsibility. All that we remind them is, this is nice, this is enjoyable, this is luxurious. Okay? At the end of the day, they take us for a ride.
Yeah.
They feel I can tell you for free. You see, sometimes when some people think about the responsibility task ahead of them, they leave a presidency, that they want to even quit. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But the people surrounding them will be making them believe, no, you don't need to leave. You have AC, free, you are not paying them all this. But Fatou, there is nothing beautiful serving your country in a dignified position as presidency.
Yeah.
For 5 years or 10 years, you quit.
And
live a very comfortable life
in your country.
Look at people like Abdou Diouf. You can go to Senegal anytime. You are respected. at the international stage. But, you know, I tell people, why do we keep on repeating this? Mansaya diara hanitilikili mansaya. Why? We are not reminding them, you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And the responsibility is to build this country, to build a better country for generations to come. But all what we keep reminding them, every day is Mansaya Diata, and you have every reason to stay in this position, which is very unfortunate as a country. So we definitely could do better, especially as citizens. Ntolu, you know, yes, you blame government, obviously,
but we have a role.
But we have a role as well.
Yeah. As a conscious citizen, finally, Essa, because Nila Kachabuka is already 8 and already Kachabuka and Kachadiata, and it's very, very refreshing to have this kind of conversation with independent people, because politicians sometimes it's a little different lens, it's more casual now. But as a conscious citizen, what should be the priority? You said something, issue voting. Because we don't vote on issues. We only vote on tribal lines and others. You see, my party FM for young the other day in the show, and I sat down. I'm like, Mai is right. Why do you think the Gambian people will vote for President Barrow? More believe the rampant corruption. Tomorrow da nas jita abuka jia kaselele cemento be mankiring fengo di da be sharing kurango selete everything security everything ya mira drong now nke silolti if you offer mira drong abe man tra correctly, right? And you know what Mai told me? The entire talk on nobody spoke to them about corruption. Nobody even had those issues raised. The Gambian people are not concerned about that. And these are issues that people should be concerned about. So it brings me to that question, issue voting. Is Gambia at this point, Nyanta Mune Jubela going into, look, if you want to vote for the president, ila right law. If you want to vote for opposition, ila right law. But as a country, we are going into election in 2026. In few days, we are getting into 2026. What should Gambians look forward to going into this election? What should be the agenda for an ordinary Gambian? Not on political lenses, but for an ordinary Gambian.
Before the 2021 election, actually in 2020, my was all over the media, and he was so concerned about corruption and the economic situation of the country. So I don't know what has changed.
No, what has changed. You know, policy-wise, Akatebota Santolto, right? President Barrow development of Minki Atela Mole when it comes to Kurango Silolo and in education, access to education, that aligns with GMC la policy. Barifana Naya Jube, the alternatives, you know, he believes President Barrow is gonna align with them.
But go back to one of his interviews where he talked about infrastructural development, the infrastructural development policy of this government, where he, you know, expressed disagreement. Go back to that interview. Okay. I'll refer you back to that. But anyway, that's his opinion. And I think he's right that to be honest, I don't follow it. Because I think I have
take a little clips or
no, I don't even watch those clips. I have a lot of work to do. But at least make a story, Jay. I didn't see any story where, you know, people talk about the issue of corruption.
No,
I think it was only in Banjul that I saw that there was a confrontation set up. The NAM there, where he talked about the issue, the conditions at I see that the child, whatever. So, but nobody talks about corruption.
Yeah.
And as I said, we don't have issue voting in this country. What people are mostly concerned about, so the voting behaviors that we have mostly is party identification. People identify themselves with a party because my parents support this party. So somebody will say, I support UDP because my parents have been supporting this party since 96. Somebody will say NPP because my parents are supporting NPP and all that. But also, it's also based on, not even on ideological leanings, but mostly it is based on, you know, the sociological model. People align themselves because of tribe, or sometimes even the issue of, you know, this social, whatever, family ties even contributes. And people say that, well, you know, sometimes I see people who support Barrow because their surnames are Barrow. I've seen that. Yeah, so that happens. And so issue voting doesn't happen in the Gambia. And I'm not seeing it happening. I've said this to someone just yesterday. The person was like, it's an opposition though, trying to come into the political arena, that Barrow is going to lose 2026. I said, well, let's see what happens.
Let's
see what happens. But why do you think he's going to lose? What is happening in this country? I said, do you listen to yourself? And do you even engage with ordinary Gambians? What people say? Sometimes, with all the issues that are happening in the country, but you see people, you talk to them, their living condition is terrible.
Yeah.
But they will still tell you that I'm still supporting the incumbent.
Yeah.
I said, and you see what the president is doing, what Barrow is doing, and he's getting age over the opposition is that he's doing Gambian ulka concern men. Silo ning kurang.
Kurang ning silo. Yep.
Whether you like it or not, that's the reality.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's a justification. I can't hold brief for Barrow, that, right?
Yeah, you will not.
But that's what exactly he's doing. And most of these people, if you go to my village, Tankular, even 50 votes or so,
yeah.
I think that's too much. I'm being too generous. But now Barrow is getting close to 200 or so. Votes in my village in Tankular. Where are those things coming from?
Where are they coming from?
The opposition, UDP, is getting, I think Barrow last election, he got like one something. Something like that.
Yeah.
One something. Close to 200, right? I can say. So, because Munekeda, I know people in my own village, they were never Barrow. They were never in Kumbet.
Yeah.
All of us, they were all UDP. You go to Fonyi, you go to Wulib, they were talking about these bridges and all that. Those are bringing political points to him. Now, as opposition, what do you do?
What do you do?
So the messaging is important. Who do you sell as a candidate? A winnable candidate. It's important. But the messaging is also important. But recently what we see is confrontation between opposition parties. UMC Jana, UDP Jana. You see, when you see opposition parties attacking each other, you start wondering what really is happening.
I don't even report. You see, I don't even report on those attacks because what is the point?
Yeah, it's not helping. So, in fact, what it is doing more, it is helping
the incumbent. Yes.
Because when people, you see,
at this point, Barrow is sitting watching.
Some people get frustrated. You see, some people don't vote because they get frustrated and feel like there is no alternative.
Yeah.
And some will tell you that, yes, let him just go. Just Barrow Hydara, anybody can come.
Yeah.
Fine, that's an argument. But how do you get that anybody can come? How do you get that? So, at some point, what happens is the unhealthy politics. A united, credible opposition force is the only solution to the opposition. Purukajeko, ye incumbent unseat. But if they continue this, unhealthy fight and, confrontation between themselves or among themselves, it's only going to work for the incumbent because, the people are not concerned about. Sometimes you tell people that Maniboto Dajawera, they will tell you that, but in the sub-region, it's better.
It's better. Yeah.
Oh, Amantara Gambia Damato. Gambia is not the only country facing that. You tell them there's corruption. They'll tell you that even if you bring another government, that's what will happen.
That's going to happen.
So what they are concerned about is the road and the electricity. Yeah. Even though me and you and I, those are not issues for us because we believe that.
Those are basic necessities.
Those are basic necessities. And then we should not even be talking about those things at this stage. But that is not the understanding of an ordinary
because Gambian. They have never had it before.
Somebody was telling me, but no, you are the people that will Karanali and Dochi. And I said, hey, it is not about you and I. Probably I am not even going to vote in 2026. Maybe I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
I'll be somewhere in the world. Maybe you're not going to vote. But the ordinary Gambians that are there are not thinking along these lines. Those are not, they are not talking about, changing this, like the roads and the electricity.
And that's why when you saw the survey by Cyprus, it's telling us, even with all the situation, if elections were held that day, Barrow was going to win.
So, it's the incumbent always has that advantage in African politics. The power of incumbency because underestimate. You don't do that in Africa. That's the biggest mistake, political mistake you can make or miscalculation you can make in African politics. To underestimate because they have the resources, they have the means, to maneuver the political space, try to see the electoral winner, whether it's going to be the legal, whether it's going to be through, stealing, or it's going to be the right, but they have the means.
Yeah.
So opposition you must bring an alternative on the table. The right messaging. These are issues. The opposition in Gambia has an opportunity.
Yeah.
To always talk about corruption that is happening. Don't go for a personal confrontation.
No,
many times I see, sometimes when government supporters or officials, being ministers or, politicians in government attacking. You see, opposition should not waste their time on that now.
No.
We need you exchange with them.
No.
That you know what that does? It deviates
from the message.
From the real
message.
issue.
So, see,
it diverts our attention.
This is why I tell people
it's a tactic.
The information minister is doing a very good job for this government. Do you know why? He's always deviating from the real issues that the people should be talking about, the corruption and all that. He's going on personality. He's attacking political leaders and other people. That way, we forget about the message of corruption and other issues that are happening, and we are responding back to him on that. So that's that's what government want. They don't want
one thing. What is happening? You know, there is what we call this concept of digital authoritarianism. This digital authoritarianism, what governments do most of the time, especially with the last period of protests. See, especially in Africa, what they do is that they do two things: either create the laws to censor people, or make internet expensive. Or the third thing they do is to also control what people write and all that by arresting them and so on. And Gambia, the law is just coming right now. I think they've created the law. The cyber security
bill is there.
But you know what? They're not necessarily going after people and arresting. They don't come to Fatou and say, arrest Fatou because he said this on the media. They make internet expensive. That's what digital authoritarian regimes do in Africa. And if you look at the Gambia, internet is expensive. So people don't get to understand or know the issues that are happening. You talk to a lot of people in provincial Gambia. Just now that sometimes people access some of these TikTok things and
WhatsApp forums.
But they cannot, you see, when you and I are having this show, somebody in my village in Tankular will not sit for 1 hour or 2 hours. Because it's expensive. So they will not get the detailed information. So what the government does, the two tactics that this government is doing, this is just an analysis. And opposition need to pay attention to this. Is one, to make internet expensive so that it becomes unaffordable and inaccessible. That manta follow boy ko ite fem follow ite fin sawalan but it will not be cheap.
The ordinary Gambian
for the ordinary Gambian, so that they become uninformed about the real issues. But the second tactic is the tactic of deviation. To divert our attention, they deviate from the real issues and engage in personal attacks. Oh, this minister said this opposition party, this presidential advisor said this. They engage in those issues and divert our attention from the real issues. The real issues, the corruption, the economic issues and all that. Because they know that people are feeling them. But because people don't talk about them, then it will be less of a burden on the ordinary Gambians that vote in elections. So I think that tactic is really, I don't know whether it's going to work for them. As we approach 20, I always say I don't want to predict Gambian elections because they can go anyhow. So, but definitely, let's see. The incumbent has an advantage. But I hope that the opposition will also, redouble their efforts. Look for unification, but also the messaging in terms of talking about the real issues. And avoid personal attacks, especially among themselves, so that they can pose a serious challenge.
Go into election as a unified force, even if they're going on their separate ways. Let the target be the incumbent.
We need to have, very, how do I put it? Highly contested elections. The elections must be keen contested in 2026. We cannot have, it doesn't tell well. Winning with 53%, it doesn't tell well. We at least, need that, maybe 47, somebody challenging, something like that.
I kind of believe this 2026 election, the winner will not be more than 40%. It's going to be between 35 to 39 or 39, 40, around the 40s. I don't think we'll have anybody have 50%.
It depends on. It depends on the candidates as well. It depends on who will be presented. Who will be presented by the different political parties, but also if there is a unified opposition. Who will be the candidate for that unified? Because I think. I'm not going to mention names, but I think if there are some people should lead coalitions, a coalition, it's going to be still difficult because Gambians, I don't want to go into that anyway.
You don't want to go into that?
I don't want to, but I'm just saying, even if there is going to be a unified opposition, people must also be very conscious of who to leads that coalition. I'm not talking about a particular individual, but I think there are few individuals in the political space that really people have some issues and reservations with. And I think opposition need to really look into that. We need somebody that can unify them under an umbrella to say, we're posing a serious challenge to the government. It's not enough for them to come and say, we have presented this person and that's it. So I think they really need to look into that to be able to pose a serious challenge
to the incumbent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, our final message. It's been a very interesting conversation. It's already almost 8:30, but it's always good to have this kind of refreshing conversation.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to always be here. I think the last time I sat here was in August 2023.
It's been like 2 years already.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. 4 months.
Yeah, time flies.
So yeah, but then we needed to take some break and focus on our personal development as well, personal growth, and we're into that. But this is the country that we have. It's the country that we can be proud of, even though sometimes things get crazy, sometimes. But these kind of conversations are needed. And I hope that, we will engage in such meaningful, and life-changing conversations that will make our country better, and not necessarily in acrimonious relationships and confrontational, conversations that will not take us anywhere. But really, Gambia deserves better. Yeah. And I think a lot needs to be done. Sometimes we get discouraged, Fatou, but at some point you're like, but this is the country that we have. Even if you go thousands and thousands of miles away, this is Gambia. You will come back at the end of the day. You people are doing a great job. Keep it up. We will be back in this space sometime, maybe if we are done with our program.
But 2026, though, you cannot just be so silent like you have been. 2026, we have to have...
So December 2026 by election?
No, here against the 20... From January to December, it's going to be political
But I'll be away. So
yeah, but you have to be contributing online.
But PhD is like a marriage. You're connected to it.
It's crazy.
And so, by December 2020, maybe hopefully I'll be into my research.
Wow.
So maybe, I don't know whether will be in the Gambia or somewhere, but I'll be into my research, and only if my advisor is not knocking me on the head, then probably I can participate in some. But let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. It might be, I know that this election cycle is going to be so interesting. Yeah. It's going to be very, very interesting. So you will definitely not be able to resist it. Yeah. You must come time to time just to pitch in and
just explore some gymbos
and go, just to make it me. I'm taking a break. All these I only prepare myself 2 hours before I come to the show.
It's good to take a break.
For the past 6 months, I have taken a break. Past 4 months, I've taken a break from all this active political. I only prepare myself 2-3 hours before the show and look at what is coming, what is happening in the country. All this, I read stories, of course, but just to actively follow things, I don't. But by January, February, our mindset will be ready just to participate fully, because at the end of the day, the country needs us all. Yeah, definitely. And I think, that's the agenda. But right now, take a break, decompress, and then come back at least fully fresh.
It's good for all of us. I took a break. I remember 2023, before traveling, I was like really stressed. But then at least now we've taken a break. And, hopefully we will, I get pessimistic about this country, but hopefully, maybe in the next 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, things will improve.
Maybe we should all relocate then, if that's the timeline. Maybe we'll just go. By then Trump would have gone. I can go back to the US and just sit in my corner and be watching things from that.
Well, that's another conversation, though.
That's another conversation. That's another. Somebody said, Kerr Fatou, today I'm very happy hearing from my comrade Essa Njie. That's Junior Demba. Well, it's always interesting to have Essa on the platform. Hopefully, before you go back, you can come and co-host with me. Hopefully.
Let's see. If my wife and my son will allow me.
Well, madam, I'm taking permission just for 2 hours Thursdays. Thank you so much, Essa. It's always interesting and good to have a conversation with you. Let me say to the Gambians.
Yeah, just to say, this is a country that we have. Not Tinyata Bele, not Didata Bele. I know sometimes we get so sentimental and emotional, and I can understand. It's only people that have love for their country sometimes that get discouraged, and it can come far to an extent. But sometimes when you sit down and reflect deeply, you're like, if I get mad, I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, look at what is happening. Even some of our people in the US, you know, to an extent, they're like, I want to go back home.
Yeah.
Because this is the country that we have.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's work for the betterment of the country. And it's especially to, you know, those in positions of authority.
Yeah.
Please have sympathy for the ordinary Gambians
Yeah.
that you find in the street. Have sympathy for market women, for the women that are selling, you know, working at the beach sides, you know. So, you know, you have a lot of Gambians that are really doing well, trying to earn decent livings. At least they should even learn from those people. You are in office, but learn from that woman who is struggling every day, trying to live a dignified life. Have sympathy for these people. Have sympathy for the kids of this country. Have sympathy for the unborn generation. That the wealth that you are destroying today, the destruction you are doing to this country, is going to affect not only the current generation, but future generations. And, you know, if you think about a rendezvous with the future, I think, you know, you'll be able to think twice as you giving, you know, the responsibility to manage. So my message basically is to see this, I mean, Gambia moves forward, Gambia be somewhere all of us can be proud of. Not a Gambia that everybody will say, I'm done with it, I'm done with it, I'm done with it. So I think
at this point, and that's the situation, we're all frustrated. But for me, always inspired. When I look behind, I tell, when I walk past and some old woman, hey, dinding, I'll be minal continue. That inspiration, your people believing in you, people believing that you're doing a just cause. Sometimes that is just the motivation you need. But sometimes it can be very frustrating because it looks like more and sometimes you sit and think, are we in a different Gambia than what other people are telling me? Sometimes when I see government officials on here and I'm talking to them, and my friend say Kumbalo, when I have him here and he's telling me how I'm thinking,
at some point. But I think some of them, the fact that you cannot they come here, they still come.
No, they're favorite people like say Kumbalo. He will come and sit. But that is good because as a public officials, you should come and talk to the people. And that's what I admire about some of them. They know they are coming to this platform. We are going to be very critical. We have always been critical, but they come and talk to us. That is why I appreciate those people because...
Even though I disagree with them on a lot of issues,
Yeah.
But I think at some point, those things...
you know, they are commendable. They are commendable. They are commendable. Thank you very much, Essa. Hopefully, before you go, we'll have a sit down again.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes. Thank you so much.
Take permission from Madam again.
We'll have to take permission from Madam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And to the viewers and the technical team, thank you very much. And good night to you all. See you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ja Oil is Gambia's leading dealer when it comes to fuel and has made it a duty to satisfy our customers at all costs. Vehicle owners and drivers need not to worry about getting quality and affordable fuel anymore. That is the reason we have our branches spread all over the country for easy access. For good and clean fuel, the only place to go is Ja Oil. Your need for good and durable petrol, gasoline and kerosene has been covered by Ja Oil, so you need not to worry. Walk to any of our branches and get served to satisfaction. With Ja Oil, your satisfaction is our priority. That is why we have branches at your doorstep to make accessibility easy for you. With our professional and friendly staff, we can assure you satisfaction. To get the best fuel for your engines, the only place to go is Ja Oil. With Ja Oil, it's all enjoyment. That is why we are offering you low charges at our stations on the Coastal Road in Banjul. For more information, you can call 770-8080, 322-9070, 714-7273, or 387-1321. Ja Oil, the pride of the nation.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always